you're rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats.
Okay, so there's that thingy. Okay. So either way, now that we got that all finagled and we're running late, it's what it is. Not that anybody in the recording has any concept of what it's late to be to the podcast, because they get it the same day every week anyways. Well, when I remember to post it.
Right.
You know,
that helps.
That does always help. Let me turn this down because we don't need that. We do, of course, need our buttons, or else it gets a little bit fucking embarrassing. You know, you gotta have the lead in for that kind of shit. So happy Eclipse Day. Cheers.
Yes, sir. Cheers.
Happy Eclipse Day. End of the world fucking day. You know. Yeah,
it was got dark, got rainy.
It got very rainy. We actually didn't get to see the eclipse here in our part of Texas, but it definitely got super dark. But it also coincided with that very heavy storm, so you couldn't tell whether it was the storm making it dark. It
was both, man. It got like almost pre-dark dark out there.
Yeah, it was getting pretty nasty, and it was coming down sideways there for a minute. But that could have been the gravity, or it could have been other, you know, could have been all the things.
LHC turning on, you know.
So we're going to talk about that here in a bit. I do have that. I did bring up the idea, the concerning CERN.
Really?
There's our
Concernicus.
Yeah. So we're gonna that's gonna be the episode title, concerning CERN. Sir, are you concerning, sir? But either way, guys, welcome back to the Now You Made It Awkward podcast, episode 88, otherwise known as damn near 90.
Getting there, getting close.
Yes, and literally just before we got rolling here, I shared the previous episode on the Patreon. So if you want to see the full uncut version of the podcast with video all the way through, you can do so on the SHOKY Reviews podcast, or I'm sorry, Patreon, SHOKY Reviews Patreon, which the thing will swoosh across the screen here. So if you're just listening and you hear a sound, that was the Patreon logo coming across to let you know where to go do the thing. It is linked down below. But you can, of course, help support any of the channels or just this one if you're interested. Also want to welcome two new people supporting the SHOKY stuff. That is Louie and... Now I feel like an asshole because I forgot what...
Not Louie.
No, yeah, Louie and not Louie. Hold on. I just closed the Patreon thing. You know what's really funny? Okay, so there's been a glitch on Patreon this weekend. I don't know if it had to do with all of the other crap going on in the world or something else. For some reason, Patreon did not notify me of new people joining until like a day and a half after the fact.
Oh, really?
Okay, sorry. It was Deb. Deb joined on the No Monica Nation level. Sorry about that, Deb. Forgot. So she was watching the live stream Friday.
Okay, good deal.
And then
good
she
deal.
joined up for the Patreon. So, guys, I do live stream over on the Doesn't Have to Make Sense channel on Tuesdays and Fridays if you're remotely interested in seeing me react to shit. Or if you're not, oh well. You can support the SHOKY Review stuff if you like reviews. This is my brain needs to slow down.
Yeah. How much coffee did you have today?
I had 2.5 cups of coffee this morning. But
and it's sending you through the moon, man.
Well, it's sending something through me. Either way. So either way, you can support either the SHOKY Review stuff if you want to see me review nerdy stuff, whether that's action figures or other toys, or the very large not Nerf gun that I have out there. There will be a video up for that very shortly where I figure it out, unbox it. So very interestingly, you know, a lot of times, especially with Nerf now, they put the things like in like a box. Like you can't see the actual thing. So you open it up, it's just like strapped in place with some normal plastic bullshit straps. That thing, since it was in open packaging, it actually had specific holes molded into the body for these plastic screws.
And you had to unscrew them all and release them from the packaging.
Yes.
That's cool.
It was heavy duty. I was just like looking at it, I'm like, damn, they really, like, considering it was only $45. That big fucking thing. Stand, 72 bullets, all that. Or, sorry, not bullets, darts. No FBI. It's not a real gun. It's a not Nerf gun, but it's not real. So, either way, good deal on that thing. I forget the name of the company, but the brand is like Insanity. And I think it's called Rager.
Rager, really?
Rager, yeah. So, and the cool thing is because it has like the Pitkini rails all over it, you can actually buy other guns in the line and combine it into like one super weapon.
Those look like standard pick rails.
They are. But you can buy the other stuff in the line, and it comes with these two orange blocks that are receivers, not the bar end.
Yep.
And you can actually attach all the other weapons in the line to it as a base.
Nice.
So you can have the one that has a giant like drum that goes all the way around. And then you have the two, like a shotgun looking one and a pistol one. You could strap them all to that singular base.
Good grief, like that weapon from The Fifth Element.
Yes, very much
Everything
like that.
in one.
Yes. And of course, guys, with me today is Hefe.
Hey.
Yep, as usual. We're still on the hunt potentially for another person, but
Wouldn't be bad.
We're doing good. We're doing good as
We
we
just
are.
have such an awkward schedule. It's hard to find someone that can
Someone
work
also
within
has our free time.
Right.
So, because like,
which is either non-existent or weird.
yeah. So, I mean, I'm used to having to work around other people's schedules. So, I think I just need to find someone who doesn't do shit on Mondays. Like, which is hard enough, and doesn't have a family they have to be there for, that kind of stuff.
Well, I do things on Mondays, but I get up early.
Yes. Yeah. Well, early for you.
Yeah, only 4 hours.
Well, technically, you're already up. Like, you've been awake since Saturday.
Sort of. I'd usually take a 4-hour nap.
Yeah, exactly. But essentially, you've been awake the entire fucking time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, since it is Monday, and it is Eclipse Day, it's supposed to be the end of the fucking world, right?
Bring it on.
Oh, also, by the way, I want to say hi to Fat Cam.
Hi, Fat Cam.
There's a Fat Cam. What's up, fat people?
Less fat.
Hey, I'm slightly less fat.
Yes.
So for anybody, I weighed in a couple months ago when we got the nice new digital scale with the app that tracks everything. So I haven't weighed myself since the end of February.
Yeah.
Roughly. So all of March didn't weigh myself. Obviously, we're a little bit into April now. And last night, after I went for my first walk of the trying to lose weight, I weighed myself. Mind you, this was after eating dinner, after not necessarily going to the bathroom on the same level I normally do, which last Monday was all I was doing. I think, not to be too gross, I think it was 10 times by the time I got home.
You going to blame my spaghetti?
No, it was not your spaghetti. Unless it was a lot of fiber, maybe that helped, but it did not. Either way, it was like, if it did help me clean me out.
But we did have salad.
Oh, it was a salad. That's what it was. I blame the Caesar
First salad in 8 months.
There we go. Yeah. Well, that's okay. That's not fair. Either way, the point is, y'all probably heard that thunder. That's what you get. That's what you get. So either way, I weighed in, and the most I've weighed on that scale was 315.
Okay.
And so when I did my work physical in January, I was 315. So I weighed myself yesterday after really not doing much other than maybe increasing my fasting, and actually work was kind of hard the last week or two. So this was after I did a walk. Mind you, I hadn't done my business in a while, any of that, and I just ate dinner. And I was down to under 312. So it was like 311.2.
Well, I'm kind of curious. What was your heaviest?
315.
315.
Yes.
That's it.
On the dot.
Okay.
On the dot.
See, almost 2 years ago, I was knocking on, I was 378 at my heaviest. And just huge. 4X, 44-inch waist. Almost 2 years later, I'm down to 300 even in a 40-inch waist and in a 3X.
Yeah.
And it's coming off.
Yeah. So I'm having a hard time clicking buttons. So that's one of the things for me is that, one, I never actively try to lose weight except every few years I get the exercise bug. Now, the one thing that took me down in a very literal sense was I had been working out, and work was harder through the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I actually did lose a good bit of weight, but then I fell down the stairs, fucked up my knees, and couldn't do shit.
See, I've just been doing intermittent fasting daily as a way of life, and that has helped so much.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I've been doing is, like, the other day I fasted for probably, without even thinking about it, about 17, 18 hours.
Yep, that's good.
Because I spaced out.
Well, at hour 14, you enter in what they call autophage.
Yeah.
Where you start getting into, they claim, cellular regeneration, a lot of cellular regrowth, and it's a good place to be.
Yeah. So the thing is that, like, my job used to keep me, quote unquote, thin, because I was doing so much physical work constantly and sweating constantly that I couldn't put on weight no matter what I did. And mind you, I was still in my late 20s, so I had a lot of metabolism left.
You were what, 240, 250?
I was at 215.
Oh, wow.
For a long time, but then I got up to about 250, but then I was at 250, 255 when I started. In the first 2 weeks of doing the heavier version of my job, since there were multiple versions of
Yeah.
my job. In 2 weeks, I lost 30 pounds.
Good.
Because it was just that much effort.
Nonstop in the middle of summer.
And so I was at 230, if I recall correctly. I was at 230, 235 for 5 years. And would go up and down a little.
Okay.
Just a little bit. It wasn't until after, like, basically 2012 was when everything, like, hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to die. You know, life sucked ass. I was losing everything, massively depressed, all that kind of shit. I basically quit doing the harder work and found a much easier job that was not going to kill me.
Right.
You know, still with the same company, but, you know, just different, less impact job, and was happier, made less money, but I changed my life to make that work. But after that is when I started just packing on the pounds.
Yeah, mine was PTSD, alcoholism, just depression, not giving a damn.
Yeah.
Basically drinking to try to hurt myself.
Yeah.
And once I got off of that,
Cheers.
and got in the right mindset, it was only after I discovered fasting that it was the only thing that worked for me consistently. It never felt like I was having to deprive myself of things I'd like to eat.
Yeah.
I just had to control when and where I'd eat and how much.
Yeah. It's the how much that's mattered a lot.
And it's made a difference. It really has. That and switching over to night shift.
Yeah. That changed
alone,
a lot. Yeah.
because I get to sleep through most of my fast. I get off at 6. I'm at home and to sleep by 7, and I sleep through most of the day. I'm up at 2. I got to wait 4 hours before it's time to eat.
Yeah.
And we usually have dinner about 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yeah. So, and a similar way, I get up early. I wake up at 4:30 to go to work. Not to go to work. That's when I get up, because I used to get up like 20 minutes before I had to leave and just didn't bother.
Right.
Pack some whatever, right quick, change clothes, and get out the door. And then when I started doing YouTube and stuff like that, it became a point of I wanted to get up early to get work done. So I would spend the afternoon when I got home shooting videos, upwards of 5 or 6 videos a day.
Right.
I think the most I ever did was a ridiculous, like 11 reviews in one afternoon. I couldn't talk. And so I would edit in the morning before going to work. But then they changed my start time. They moved it forward 15 minutes. So that, okay, well, shit, now I got less time at home. So, okay, now I got to get up 10 minutes earlier.
Right.
Get a little bit more time to get some shit done. And then I had another guy, because there's only 3 of us doing our job. And we're basically fighting for equipment because they just leave us the scraps, basically. Mm-hmm. So this other guy was getting there stupid fucking early. And he was taking the vehicle I wanted.
Right.
So I was like, fuck, now I got to get up even earlier so I make sure I get to work earlier. So then I started work 10 minutes earlier than that just to make sure to get there in time to
claim the vehicles
I wanted.
Yeah.
Or even, in that case, other equipment too, not just vehicles. But so I would eat breakfast at, say, 5 o'clock. If I'm eating breakfast, I'm eating right at about 5 when I have my coffee. I get to work. At this particular point in time, I'm at work till 11:30, give or take. Bad days will be like 1:30. Yeah, that's not a lot. That's not that many hours, but I also get paid way too much per hour, so it's fine.
Right.
Yay. Bragging rights. So I deal with that, and then I'll eat. That means I eat lunch when I get home, say 12 o'clock. So I ate at 5, then I got 7 hours almost between meals.
Right.
Assuming I didn't grab a snack, because I had a really bad habit of stopping at Walgreens and getting me some Kit Kats. Very addicted to Kit Kats.
See, I don't eat like that. I have one meal and then a snack right before my fast ends, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, you're a bit more, that's the word I'm looking for, disciplined.
Well, it didn't happen overnight, buddy.
No, but you have that. So the thing is like, and when I skip breakfast, I'll grab a snack sometime around 9:30.
Just keep working on it. You'll get there.
But I mean, look at it this way. So if we eat dinner at 6 or 6:30, depending on the day, because Jessica gets home at different times, depending on the day. So if we're eating dinner at 6:30, give or take, and then I get up at 4:30, that's already 10 hours. Mm-hmm. And then I don't eat anything until say maybe 9:30 when I get a little split day in my work. I'll grab a snack, maybe a breakfast taco or something from the gas station.
Right.
So at that point, I'm at like 15 fucking hours, give or take. But if I skip that and wait till I get home, then that's all the way around fucking 12 or 1 o'clock.
Well, it all depends on when you start your eating window and end it.
Yeah.
You can start your eating window at, say, noon,
Okay.
and by 8, there's your close. So
Okay.
as long as you're done eating by 8 p.m., you're solid.
Yeah. So if I do a day like that where I don't do anything but like a little snack, maybe a coffee or something like that, because obviously I have coffee, so I know that's calories and sugar, but and some fats in there too, technically. But if I do that, I avoid any afternoon snacking, and I just eat a mild lunch, don't go crazy.
Yeah.
Like Friday, I got full on Sonic meal, which I hadn't had in a little while, but I like their garlic bacon cheeseburger.
Right.
It's really fucking good. But
I don't know. I've become so dissatisfied with eating out or fast food in general now.
yeah.
So many years living on the road and being nonstop go.
Yeah.
You're just tired of it.
No, I get that because obviously that's basically I've been living on the road almost my entire adult life.
Yeah.
Because even before doing the job I have now, I delivered pizzas for 6 years. And then I had 1 year working at Walmart, which half the time I was working at Domino's, to make extra cash.
Right.
And then when it was just too much to do, I just stopped going to work at Domino's. In fact, I quote unquote quit. I quit Domino's on a church trip to Galveston.
There you go.
My boss I just didn't tell her. I knew she wouldn't give me the day off. And so I just didn't go in.
That's
And then
the
she was
worst thing
calling me, I didn't answer.
Guess you took a hint, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I went in like a week later with whatever uniforms I had left that were worth a damn and my whatever, and I gave back all the stuff and I said, I'm done. It was like, she's like, yeah, we figured that out. I'm like, but like, we were like, she was cool as shit. Like, she was a really cool boss. Like, she already knew that I had another job. She already knew that I was doing school. So, I mean, I was like packed to the gills with everything else, not to mention church. So that's when I was still working on, I was still the kind of what they call the assistant youth pastor.
Yeah.
So we had a program where all the older kids basically helped out with the younger kids.
Good deal.
Or would be leaders in the youth group. And so I was doing that on top of working 2 jobs and going to school. Now, mind you, I was only doing Domino's like 2 nights a week at that point instead of 5 nights a week.
Still, that's no downtime. No downtime's no downtime.
Yeah, but I was also 19, 20. So, it is what it is. Because I did Papa John's for a year, and then I got fired from there, and then went immediately to Domino's. Like, legit got a job the next day. Like, hey, I've been working for Papa John's. I know the area. She's like, oh, okay, cool. And hired me.
There you go.
So, shout out to Jill, because she also ended up transferring to our local Domino's when it was the only one in town.
What, Suddenlink?
Yes.
Okay.
So she moved there, and so I kept ordering pizza when I got my apartment when I was at Redford Park.
Yeah.
And so I would, back in the day there was no ordering on the internet.
Yeah, you'd have to call.
So
and
I called, and
wait for someone to finally pick up, and then half-ass take your order.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so the weird part was she answered the phone, and I'm like, wait a minute. No, that's not what happened. I placed my order. I'd called it in. I placed my order, and then she called me from her phone.
Okay.
And she's like, is this you? Like, I just saw an order come across. Is that you? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, wait, are you working in that store? And she's like, yeah, I'm the manager over here now. And it's like, oh, well, shit, cool. And she's like, okay, I'll give you a discount. So she's just cool as shit. Like, she gave me a 10% discount.
Nice.
Every time I ordered through her. And she said, if this guy ever comes up, give him 10% off.
Cool.
Or like $5 walk-ins. So either way, that was the other reason I gained a lot of weight was the first time I gained a lot of weight because I was at like 180, give or take, leaving high school.
Good grief. Tiny dude.
Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't imagine me skinny.
And
hair.
Out of high school, I was still 240, 230.
So like when I graduated, I was also engaged to my off and on girlfriend. Yep. And then that summer was when I started work at Papa John's. Well, I guess I was already working there. It started closing because I was finally old enough to close. And that's when I was taking home like a large or extra large pizza and eating half of it before bed.
Oh, good gosh.
Yeah, so
I can still crush half a pizza,
Dude,
and I hate myself for it.
Dude, I put on 30 pounds that summer.
That's a lot of weight real quick.
Really fast. But I was also didn't realize what depression was yet. You know, our relationship, even though we were engaged, was on the rocks. Right. There was literally no future for us. And like,
depression's tough, man. It's
yeah. I mean, I live in it.
You either deal with it or you get help.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's what I always tell people. I always made the joke that I live in a constant state of depression, interrupted by bouts of happiness.
Right.
Yeah, that's literally how I put it for a very long time. And, you know, I talked last week about all the shit, you know, we went through the last few years, losing friends and everybody. So Jessica and I have been both very depressed, but her enough to be on medication, me just finding things to do to make myself happier.
Well, give us time. We're going to drag you out of it.
No, I'm mostly out of it, but I have my spirals.
Of course, everyone does.
I have my triggers.
Everybody
I have
has
my spirals.
Bad days.
Yeah.
Bad days are okay.
Yes.
But what's not okay is staying in them.
Yes, exactly. And so that's where life has changed a lot lately for us. And that's one thing I talked about with last week's episode that nobody has heard yet. So this is the weird part about being offset by a week and a half, is that actually, no, it is 2 weeks. 1 week. Forget. We got to take a week off.
Something.
So we need to take another week off so that we can get the schedules realigned so we can remember what the fuck we talked about. I know last time. So real quick, I will get to a message that Sean sent in before I get into my story for the last couple days. Like, not a lot's happened in the last week since we talked.
I've been stagnant.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. But Sean did send in a message, so we're going to listen to that and see
Sean,
what the hell he's asking. By the way, guys, if you want to, you can either write in to us and ask us questions or comments or give us topics to talk about at NowYouMadeItAwkwardMail@gmail.com, or you can also go to the Now You Made It Awkward Facebook page, and you can just send in a voice message asking questions or comments or whatever, much like Sean did. In which case, I'm going to go ahead and play that right now, because I have no idea what it is.
Question for the pod. So recently I've been thinking, which is usually a bad idea, trying to remember my first memories. What are y'all's first memory, and roughly how old do you think you are? And why do you think that's what stuck?
Okay, that's actually an interesting conversation.
That's decent.
Yeah, because remember we talked about some stuff earlier. In like one of your first episodes, we talked about similar things, like mentioned the first movies, but you couldn't remember what your first movie really was.
A lot of my youth is a blank.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of it I don't remember well.
Well, so
who knows?
This is going to be difficult for you then. So early memories, I can remember telling people that I was either 2 or 3 years old. So I remember specifically telling somebody I'm this many or whatever. That's 2 for everybody who's looking at the thing. And I remember daycare. So I was in daycare when I was roughly 3 to 4. Because what age do you start kindergarten?
5.
4 or 5, give or take. Yeah. Well, this is also the 80s, so I have no idea if it was different then.
Remember, we were hooked on phonics babies.
Well, I wasn't.
Well, I wasn't.
I was taught to read early. So I remember being young. I remember family stuff. Just set it off to the side, bud.
Yep, I am. I'm just getting it out of my way.
It's all good. What did you think, by the way?
It was nice. Good Hefeweizen.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Shout out to Lucky 19.
It's brighter and crisper than most other Hefeweizens.
Yeah.
You get that?
I've had better. I've had significally better Heffies, but it's not bad. I just wanted something light to drink, so I picked it up. And they were slinging it at the thing.
Nice.
They are open on Sunday afternoons, so I might have to make a trip.
Maybe.
At least I'll be up in your neck of the woods for that.
Come on.
So either way, for me, I definitely remember daycare, which was either 1 or 2 years. I don't know exactly. I can remember some of the ladies who were there. There was a blonde lady I remember that I thought was very attractive. I was a very horny little kid. So I remember her. I remember a thick black lady who also took care of us. And I remember a little, I think Hispanic, little skinny Hispanic lady, if I recall. She was more like the authoritarian. Are you crunching ice in the fucking microphone, sir?
A little bit.
Bastard. Either way.
Well, lucky for you, I'm out.
Yes. It went away very quickly. So I definitely remember that early. I don't know about first memories, because I know my mom has told me things like when I was like little, like my aunt was holding me, and I guess I was hungry, so I started unbuttoning her shirt. And she didn't even notice. I completely had unbuttoned her blouse and was trying to get in for some food.
Some not there.
For some titty milk. And I don't remember any of that. That was way early. And I think I had some traumatic stuff when I was that young because of like the surgery I had to have to repair my insides and shit like that. So I probably wouldn't have access to any of that. That was way earlier. I do remember getting my first dog, which would have been 3 or 4, maybe closer to 5. I can't remember exactly when we got him. I remember the Christmas we got him, or close to Christmas we got him. And I remember he was scared and he wouldn't come out from under the kitchen table and chairs. So I was trying to coax him out from there, and he's just a little bitty golden retriever pup. You know, that was Bingo. He was a big old boy. He turned very red later in life, but when he was young, he was super golden.
Okay.
So, because we lived in Houston the first 5 years of my life. So, like, proper, like, southwest side of Houston. Down there off 59, Bel Air area. Mm-hmm. And so I remember a lot of that. But then I remember significantly later once we moved. You know, I was 100% switched on at that point. You know, we were 6 when I moved.
Right.
Or when we moved up here. I was 6 when we moved. There's the prepositions I want. Either way. So I couldn't tell you the earliest memories for sure, but I can remember my first couple days at kindergarten. I remember my dad picking me up from daycare and always bringing me the itty bitty Reese's peanut butter cups, the little guys, because he would have a couple of them in his truck thing for me, because those were my favorite thing even now.
Yeah, of course,
you know?
Reese's Rock.
Yep. And then my mom would never pick me up because my dad got off earlier in the day, so he'd pick me up. And then she would come home later, usually, or already be home, just depending on the situation. I should try to figure out where that daycare was. Because I can't... The weird thing is I don't even remember the name of it, like the actual name of the daycare. Because once we moved out here, there was one that was, I think it was called Rocking Horse Daycare or whatever. But for some reason I associate that to mine, but I don't think that's what it actually was called.
Rocking Horse. That's over there by the hospital and all that, isn't it?
Well, I didn't grow up in this side of town.
Okay.
I grew up in New Caney.
Okay.
So that was my world. New Caney and Grangerland was my world.
Oh, joy.
Yeah. Which was great back then because that was the country.
It was the country.
It was the country.
It wasn't the method.
No. Definitely changed. Porter, New Caney. I remember once we really discovered Porter because Porter was like big city.
A big city, huh?
They had a Walmart. I never went to Walmart as a kid.
Heaven help you if you went to Humble, you know?
Oh, eventually once Humble grew. No, dude, no joke. It was literally like, okay, we go to New Caney for things, and now we go to Porter for things. So Porter had Kroger, and then they had the old Walmart. So that's where we went to go grocery shopping. Then we would go to Brookshire Brothers in New Caney sometimes. And then my first job was in Albertsons in New Caney. And then, because I never came to Conroe proper until like junior high. Like that's it. Like never came this way.
Right.
Never even been to the Woodlands. You know, because 242 had only freshly been created.
True. And
so there was
2-lane only, no stop signs, no lights, no nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing between there and here.
Might have been a stop sign at 1485 and
1314 went through. They had a light to begin with. There's no way they were putting a stop sign. But so I never came to the Woodlands, never went to Conroe. So I only stayed out there. Humble was everywhere I went. Porter, New Caney, all that. Cleveland seemed like a million miles away. You know, but we would come back down to Houston because my grandma and my grandparents, I should say, lived in Houston. So that we would come down there. And then we had family that lived in Willis, which also seemed like a million miles away. You know, it's so funny to think that back then, because you had to drive so far out of the fucking way, it was just like, oh my God, this takes an hour to get around. It probably was never that long, you know, because my aunt still lives on some of the same property they lived in back then. They moved from one part of Willis to another, but she still lives out there. So it's kind of funny when I drive past the old landmarks, even now. I'm like, hey, I remember that as a kid. But yeah, I would have to say at least because he did ask.
Even since we've been here in '99, there's so much that's changed.
Oh, since '99,
it's insane. This place has exploded. I've been coming out here since I was a child. My grandmother was born here in 1913 in Beach, Texas, which is basically 105 and 3083, heading on the east side of Conroe.
That's why that area is called Beach Airport.
Yep.
But
my grandfather built a house there. My mother was born and raised there. When we moved down here, we wound up in a house that my aunt owned that my mother's been at her whole life. So, we got to Conroe, and my mom says, if you date anybody, let me know. I don't care that you're dating somebody. I just want to make sure you're not related. Because even today, I'm still finding relations that, family that I never knew about. I mean, they're everywhere.
so that's how you ended up with Amy. You just definitely were sure.
Yeah, pretty much. Not related.
And if nothing else, she's significantly older than you, so it's okay.
Right.
Sorry.
But no, as far as earliest memories, my dad moved us around a lot. We, I was adopted from birth, which is great. God put me right where I needed to be.
All right.
I mean, I wouldn't want it any different. But started off in Corsicana, Texas, 2 years. And then we moved, of all places, to Santa Fe, New Mexico. And that is where my earliest memory is. Once again, another celestial event. We come out of church and we saw this giant orange moon, a big old harvest moon.
Yeah.
Looked like it took up a quarter of the horizon.
Like a blood moon almost.
Huge coming up. And everybody standing in the parking lot just gawking openly until it started rising and getting a little smaller. It made an impression on a very, very young child.
Yeah.
I mean, we were there for maybe 3 years, so I was probably 4, maybe 5.
Wow.
And that made a massive impression. We moved from there to Hobbs, New Mexico, where I got my first dog. That's where my love affair with critters began, man. It was a lab chow mix, big old black monster.
Wow.
Named Texas, and just a damn good dog.
Ironic.
Protected me. Was just a solid animal. And sadly, we had to give him away when we moved to Missouri. And because we were moving to a rent house
you mentioned that you had to give your dogs away.
That had no yard. I was heartbroken then, but I understand now why. But still, Tex was a damn good dog. Took care of a little kid, followed me around the scrub plain, and rode my bike around. He was just a solid critter.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, there's a chow in my history as well. It was my sister and brother-in-law's dog. So,
And for one person, they're great.
yeah. So here's the thing. He was named Bear because they look like big fluffy bear. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was brown. He wasn't black. And they had 2 of them, but I don't remember what the other one was named. But here's the funny part. Bear was not his name. Bear was the name we were told because we were kids.
His name was
No, it was nothing like that. It was something else offensive. His name was Shitface. Because their little scrunched up, like super wrinkled face. So he had a dark brown face, and the rest of him was like orangey red. So his face looked like a pile of shit. So that's what my brother-in-law named him.
Sounds like one of my buddies, longtime friend, guy I rode with for years. They had a dog named Pothole. And my son was little. And I said, "This is Pothole." And he went, "Butthole."
Butthole.
And he called him Butthole from there forward.
Butthole.
Yeah, it was funny.
Butthole.
Yeah, you never seen a bunch of badass bikers fall over themselves when they were hanging out with my kid when he was little. It was great.
I believe it. So wait, let me ask you this because I need clarification. So Luke is your son proper.
Yep, son proper.
Okay, but you also have stepkids.
I have ready-mades, yes.
Okay, so that's because I've obviously never met them. So
No, they're good. I'm not going to bring up names.
no, that's fine. I just have never encountered them. So when you referred to having other kids, I'm like, what?
One is lives in San Antonio.
Okay.
Going to be married here in a year. Doing great.
Oh, that's what the prep is for.
Chemistry major.
Nice.
Going back for business for a second major.
Wow.
I mean, super smart young lady. 4'9". She's a tiny little thing.
No.
Marrying a guy who's 3 inches taller than me.
Wow. So she's copying mom.
Their pictures are hysterical.
So she's.
I mean, I love both of them to death.
So-
I'm excited to watch them start a life together.
Yeah.
But man, they are very funny to see in person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with how that works. I mean, I'm not that tall.
And the other one, we'll call him the cookie troll. Young man makes some of the best cookies you've ever had in your life. And I've been begging him to start a cookie shop to call it Cookie Troll. Because he's a lot like you, but more intense with the gaming and the collecting and the cards.
I need new friends.
D&D.
I need new friends.
You and Cookie Troll might get along.
That'd be funny. So if you don't mind me asking, because I'm always interested in with blended families, what happened to their dad? Is it divorce or death? Just
divorce.
Okay. So I don't need major details. It's just that's all usually the way it goes. It's like because I know so many.
Oh, trust me,
families.
being a faux father's not easy.
Oh, I've tried. I know
It's tough, man. We had our issues so much that they wound up moving in with their dad because I was a hard ass. And,
oh yeah.
I mean, it was just tough, and we really didn't get along. We really didn't click. But now that everybody's getting older and we're all going our own ways, things are so much better.
Yeah, because once everybody kind of gets their teenage heads out of their asses, things.
Or I grew up as an adult.
Well, yeah,
that had a lot to do with it, and me putting down the bottle as much and starting to get my own head out of my own ass.
Okay, sorry, I misunderstood what you meant. Now I get it. You matured.
Everybody
Yeah.
matured.
When you said you grew up as an adult, I was thinking much like myself, where I was raised with an older generation, so I never was like people of my own age. I was like someone who was older.
Most of my friend group is 10 years older at least.
Yeah, so not even my friend group, my family group. So like before I had real friends, I had a huge family.
But it was maturity and age all around.
But I get what you meant. I just misunderstood what you were saying. So,
but now we're getting excited for the wedding. I can't wait. It's going to be a good time.
So basically, what you said with the basically not having the maturity to be a dad for them, kind of.
There's no instruction manual.
True.
Being a dad's hard.
Yes, but what I was going to do or mention is that my cousin Charlie just married a single mom, whose ex is a piece of shit and basically just didn't really want to be a dad. He wanted to be the party animal and all this other nonsense. I mean, I think as far as I know, he's remarried, but he hasn't done any new kids.
See, and that was my problem in the opposite. I didn't have much of a youth because I worked 40 hours a week from the time I was 16 to where when I got back from Afghanistan, all I wanted to do was kind of recapture some of that youth, live and make up. Yeah. And that, to my detriment, put a barrier between me and a lot of different people.
So I would say he's in that boat. I've never met the dude, but I've heard all the horrible stories, and I've seen to the point that he had them every other weekend, even now, because they're teenagers or about to graduate.
Yeah.
And my cousin married into that and was basically trying to be a real dad to them. One was the daughter was eventually more responsive to that, but the son basically decided that dad just gives me shit. And I don't have to work for anything. I don't have to do a job or anything like that. I can just be a lazy asshole. So he got
entirely too familiar.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have that exact thing. So he decided to move out and back in with his dad, whereas the daughter decided to get her head out of her ass. Now, mind you, she still has the teenage bullishness. That happens no matter what. Not to mention that she's of the generation that blossomed way too fast due to hormones and the internet. Right. So I'm sure there's plenty of poor decisions.
Not to mention going on 20.
Yeah, but she's 16 or 17 now. She doesn't have a driver's license yet. But to look at her, if she didn't have pimples, you'd think she's 28.
Oh, good grief!
Like she developed way too early. And like, mind you, I saw her like let's see, they've been dating for 5 years.
I'm in the same boat. Yeah. My dad when we lived in Missouri, Cape Girardeau. Yeah, my dad owned a rent-to-own store. Okay. His own, started himself, and at 7th and 8th grade, I was there helping out, working with the rest of the crew. Yeah, as big or bigger than everyone else.
Yeah, because you were just I
was huge.
Well, you're just you're half giant,
or half grizzly.
You're like Tormund Giantsbane over here.
But I was sitting there moving furniture and going on deliveries and all that. It's 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I wasn't a big dude, but like I hit puberty before everybody else, and I grew a beard before everyone else. Leaving junior high, I had a full beard.
See, I could never grow a beard. Yeah. Football wouldn't let me grow a beard.
Oh, you could not.
Work wouldn't let me grow a beard. Then the Army wouldn't let me grow a beard. Yeah. And the Sheriff's Department wouldn't let me grow a beard.
And now it's a completely different story on all fronts now.
For real. Oh, my gosh.
After you got out.
Exposed tattoos are okay. You can have a beard. I left Montgomery County in 2014. And one of the best decisions I ever made, because it led after a lot of trial and tribulations to basically self-employed independent contractor.
Yeah.
And I'm happy there. I'm real happy. I get tons of leeway. I do what I want. I run things how I need to run things, and I get left alone.
Yeah.
I mean, what else could you ask at a job?
Yeah.
I get paid to sit in my van, stare at my phone, and make sure nobody screws with the property. And that's all I do.
Yeah. And wow, that's weird. I just had a fucking
Aneurysm?
No, deja vu. Okay, so we're gonna get into it, but CERN did reactivate the Large Hadron Collider the last couple days. But like I just had deja vu with everything you just said. That was weird. So, but I was getting at with my cousin.
Probably said it before.
Well, probably, but given the conversation, like I had the feeling, not because I know you've said it before, I will remember that you've said something before. This felt like it was the same conversation.
Right.
That happens. I get deja vu a lot, which I believe does come from
that was a glitch in the Matrix.
from an alternate universe, getting too close, or if we're in the idea that we shifted universes. Either way. So what I was getting at was with my cousin's situation with his stepdaughter. For her, like when we first met, she was like, seemed like just a little thing. Like, you know, she was into the arts and in music and stuff like that, but also like a little emo kid, all that kind of shit. But then like seemingly in not even the last 2 years, it seemed like she just did all of her physical development all at once. And like, so, and normally, you know, just being fair, not to be a creeper or anything, it's just like normally she's covered up, hoodie, whatever, hoodies, sweatpants, all that kind of stuff. So just everything is, you know, disguised, for lack of a better term.
She's probably still a little self-conscious.
Very, yes. But at their wedding, she's wearing like a full-on dress, low cut, and all this other stuff. And I was like, I didn't recognize her.
Really?
Did not. I'm like, okay, I was completely unaware of this. Now I feel weird. I was like, I'm just like, it was like, because, you know, I have to be, you know, men glance at women before they even think to not, because it's part of our primal nature. It's part of that deep-rooted instinct. We recognize curves. We recognize a sexually mature woman at a glance before we even have a concept of attraction or thought or impropriety. Before any of that, we look. So the first time I saw her, I was like, damn. And then without even thinking about it, I was like, damn. And then I went, damn. You know, it's like shameful. Look away.
I don't know.
Look away.
I guess because of my background,
Yeah.
I'm a bit more detail oriented.
Yeah.
I'm eyes and face first, just because who knows who I might have pissed off in the past.
Yes, but you don't recognize someone's eyes and face when they're turned the other way, bent over. You just see a curvy butt.
Touche.
And
Yeah.
Touche. So you see a curvy figure from 20, 30 feet away. And so this is something I've noticed, and also nowadays it's harder to do because so many dudes have long hair and also go to the gym and wear tank tops. So sometimes when they're out for a walk and you're at a decent distance away, you're like, damn, and they get a little closer and you're like, never mind.
At the gym is one place I'm hyper focused. Yeah.
Looking forward, not looking at anything else.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mind your own damn business, get your work done and get out.
So I have a wandering eye, but that's just because I'm kind of always on a swivel. Because
you're ADD. No.
Well, for my job, I have to kind of pay attention to everything that's going on so I don't die or hurt someone else. And the thing is, also with my job, I need to be able to read and recognize name tags and badges at a glance.
Right.
And a lot of people wear their name tag down here on their chest. So I think a lot of women probably think I'm looking at their tits when I'm not. I'm just looking at their name badge. But it's not like I'm staring. I just can read that fast at a glance, or try to recognize letters at a glance and go, okay, your name is Rachel. Just real quick and then move on. But like, since you mentioned being a stepdad, like you're officially a stepdad.
Father is my preferred term.
I know, but still, the idea. So I dated Laura for 3 years, and she had a daughter who was round about 8 years old when we got together. And I was used to little kids and whatnot, but she's like a little kid. Like literally our first time that we got to hang out. And
I like little kids.
I do too.
For some reason, little kids like me. I don't get it.
You're a big cuddly thing.
And I'm cool with it, but it boggles my wife's mind. Why do little kids always like Jeff? He's cranky, he's irritable, he's an asshole most of the time.
Have you seen Monsters, Inc.?
True.
kitty. That's all it is. And no joke.
Puppies.
Yes. So realistically, Tara was the same way with me, especially because once I could have more of a facial hair and stuff like that, she would mess with my face. Also because she knew it annoyed me. So, so I basically, with Laura for 3 years, off and on, basically watching this little girl grow up, attempting to be something of a father to her because her actual father died. I told the story before here. He died of cancer when she was like 2. So she doesn't even remember him really. And he also has other family as well. So he already had a family beforehand, kids with his first wife. Then he married Laura, had Tara. And so she had a connection to that other family also. Her sisters look nothing like her. Her sisters look like her dad, which is crazy because he was a giant Mexican dude. So sister looked massive Mexican girl.
That's a weird, giant Mexican guy.
Yeah.
Like my size?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that is a Mexican.
Yeah. Yeah. A whole lot of it too. So it's a Mexitall boy.
Mexicana whoop ass.
Mexitall boy is what it is. So either way, well, not now, he's dead. So either way. So I got to watch her grow from a little girl and then hit starting puberty. And the weird part was, because I was only over there like maybe once, twice during the week and then stayed the weekends.
Yeah.
And it's a weird thing to watch a little girl start growing up into puberty, because then there was the funny part was, and I remembered this is so damn funny.
Go spit it out.
Sorry, I was going to say something else and then I remembered this. So Laura, despite having a hysterectomy, still had periods, and so she still had tampons under the counter.
Yeah.
And then one week she was on her period and left the box on the toilet. And Tara was in the bathroom and said, "Hey, what's this?" And then read the box. And she came out of the bathroom. Mind you, she's like 10.
Yeah.
And she's holding the box of tampons. She's like, "I read the box." Like just her face. She walks into the living room. She's like, "I read the box." Because she had no idea. She hadn't had the talk yet.
Hi, Brad Pitt. What's in the box?
Yeah, so she had never had the talk before. So after that, obviously, Laura had to have more of a talk with her about that. But that was just hilarious. But I was getting into the idea that, like, watching a little girl begin puberty, the pimples start, and then the chest pimples start.
Then the teen angst.
Yeah, but, like, I didn't notice because I just know she's getting taller and whatnot, but I don't take her shopping for anything or whatever. And then she decides to wear just a tank top around the house. Mm-hmm. And then Laura makes a joke about her little baby boobies. Yeah. And she's like, "Shut up." Like, I mean, mind you, they're like literally little itty bitty, and I'm just like, well, I can't look at her ever again now. I'm just like always going to be looking away. It's like, because Laura was already had issues with trusting men.
Yeah.
Not only other men that she tried to date who were just shitty dudes in general.
Oh, I get that. A lot of single mothers are entirely, rightfully so, protective of their kids and want to keep them away from prospective dates and all that.
Well, hell, Tara went on our first date. So it was because it was just the last second thing. We just went out to dinner. But the awkward part was whenever we were in the parking lot, literally have just walked up. We're going into Olive Garden. And she asked, "Are you going to be my new dad?" And I'm like, "That's a fucking awkward question." And I'm just like, "I don't know." She's like, "Can we have dinner first and then figure it out?" Just like, it was just awkward. But that's how much she wanted a dad at that point, because she didn't have a positive male role model at all. So, but the main thing with Laura was that her dad had raped her and her sisters. So she already had a twisted view of any men in a fathership role other than her own child's father. Yeah. Mind you, I was also having to live up to the legacy of a dead man who, mind you, they had a shitty fucking marriage. But the fact that he died and was attempting to make good on things before he died was the only impression she had left. It's just like, well, he was a good man at the end before he died. It was a shitty marriage up until that point.
Right.
You'd have been divorced again. Either way. So it was just like going from that, and then of course we split up, so I didn't see her for the rest of her life. But snooping around on Facebook, I went into her pictures and saw more modern, like almost up-to-date pictures of Tara, and I was like, Yep, that was everything Laura was worried about. Like she developed very similarly to her mother, but thank God. Some of the pictures before, I'm guessing college. I don't know if she went to college or not, but she's 24 now, I guess, because she was born in 2000.
Oh, good grief!
Yeah,
time flies.
Yes, so I mean, you can imagine me with a 24-year-old kid.
Yeah,
fucking weird. But the last picture I saw of her, she was wearing like what really looked like dude's clothes, and she had her hair cut shorter.
Okay.
So I didn't know if maybe
Things
some
may have
shit
happened.
got into her.
Still more distrust.
Or she was just dressed up for a reason. No clue. But not having a positive male role model in your life may end up turning you into a male role model if you're
right
and grow up in this fucking world.
Well, if you got to be strong and there's no one else to be strong for you.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like once she got married after me, right after me, she got with a guy that she had dated off and on, and then they decided to get married, and then he cheated on her, because of course he would. He cheated with her, so of course he'd cheat on her.
Of course.
Stupid motherfucker. Either way. So she went from having a dad and like a proper dad, and then he was gone, and then so by then she's pretty much out of high school. And just like still never had a standard fucking role model, and then mom's still bouncing from dude to dude, and then I guess she got another guy after that who seems to be like the one again.
Right.
But at this point, who gives a fuck? She's not raising her anymore, So it's like, how do you have a philanderer raise your fucking kid, especially when he's an oil field guy? So he's never fucking home. Of course,
he's never home, and he's
which is exactly what fucking happened.
Right.
He came from money, already had money, didn't even have to have a job. So he did
something fun.
He just went and did what he wanted to fucking do. Either way, but the idea that, trying to raise a kid that isn't yours is already tough, especially if you have no experience with kids or you don't give a fuck about the kids.
It's tough enough having a kid that's yours.
Yeah.
The dynamics of the other parent, of being new in their lives, of trying to lay down the rules you were brought up with that they were not at all.
And that was what it was for me, because she came from a broken family. Clearly, I already mentioned that part. But my family was huge and really tight knit back then. So I tried to include her in family things. And Laura got self-conscious, thinking that everybody could see the shame of her upbringing, and she wouldn't come around.
Oh, wow.
But I took Tara to go to family outings, to Christmas and other shit like that, so she could hang out with the other kids. She hung out with my younger second cousins.
Right.
And shit like that. She could have even been like the older cool cousin at some point too, And Laura was just too scared to fucking do it and never fucking decide to commit to it. And so I tried to instill shit.
That seems like that was the problem with the relationship. She just wouldn't commit.
Oh yeah, she wasn't gonna. Well, she wanted me to commit to what she wanted and not any. So I tried to get her to move to Conroe so that we could have a place we could afford and have family nearby. I mean, she was only in the Woodlands, but she wanted to stay in the Woodlands, and I'm like, we can't afford to live here. Like, you barely make any money, and I'm so far in debt that I'm going to be paying my shit for a while. So it's like, we can't make this work like this. So if we move over here, we'll have a support system. And things will be more affordable. Now it's a completely different world, but that aside, me trying to instill any of my values, I grew up in church. I grew up with my parents just being good fucking people and a big family that was there if you needed them. She was used to none of that. Right. She was living with her mom, who allowed her dad to rape her and her sisters while she went to school so she could better herself so she could fucking leave. So mom was only concerned about herself. But now she has to rely on her mother in her fucking late 30s because she can't make enough money to survive on her own anymore and had to keep her kid alive, So as bad as all that was, then finding a guy who does want to commit to her, being me. But at that time, that's when everything was hitting the fan with me at work. I already mentioned that earlier. Yeah. Basically, work nearly killed me. So, I mean, like when I say I was going to die, if I had kept going at the pace I was at, I'd have been dead in 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, I was already dead inside and had so many medical problems, all related to work, that if I didn't stop, I would have died. And that would have been zero use to them. Not to mention all the depression we were both going through and causing our relationship to completely deteriorate.
Oh, that's rough, bub.
Yeah. So back to the family thing. As I mentioned, having a big family and all that. We went to visit my mom yesterday.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So if you guys recall last week,
how'd that go, Senny Jim?
So like I said last week, Mom called on Monday. Sorry, I'm still on the fat cam. I gotta switch it up here.
Hi, I love you. So proud of you.
Yeah, that's exactly what she fucking said. But she said it in a fuck off way. Yesterday we went to church. We had our first service in our quote unquote new building.
That went through.
No. The building that we were gonna get fell through completely. We're renting out a community center on Sundays to have our service.
Okay.
And got there early to help with setup and stuff. Actually, it was pretty easy to do. They thought it was going to take like an hour to get set up. It took like 20 minutes. Yeah. So next week we don't have to try so hard. Good service. Oh, update. James was there.
Excellent.
Surprised everyone.
Have yet to meet James, but I'm glad he's doing better.
Yes. So surprised everyone. The kids got there early because the kids are a part of it. Like, one of the kids sings for the music team.
Praise band. I did the praise
group.
I was with the praise band in church.
Yeah. So
had a lot of fun.
So his oldest daughter does that. The other ones were helping with kids in the daycare for anybody who had little kids.
Yeah.
And then I guess where was his oldest son? I guess the sons were helping too, because I don't know where they were. I guess they're sitting in the back with their dad. So either way, right before, about 15 minutes before service, maybe a little bit longer, their car rolls up. And I'm like, so his wife was supposed to do one of the opening messages.
Yeah.
So everybody was expecting her. Nobody expected him. Andy drove.
Really?
So he is...
No cane, walking on his own good?
No, he's in a wheelchair.
Okay.
So he still has blood pressure problems, and he still gets really weak, so he's still definitely he's going to be recovering for a long time.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, James is a pastor, and he's been on this podcast twice. And right before celebrating like the huge like actual opening of our church proper, he goes down with random internal bleeding in his GI tract that just kept happening over and over, and they said may have been related to a previous injury. I'll have him when he's got the energy. I'll have him come on and explain all this.
Yeah, I'd like to sit down and have him be a third for an episode.
Yeah, unfortunately, being wheelchair bound, he's not going to be able to get up here. But we could probably go to him.
We could.
He's in Spring. So
Roll mobile.
Yep. So either way, he was wheelchair bound. He can move short distances vertically.
Hell, he can come to the farm, man. We got the ramp.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. That's a long drive. Probably be easier for us to go to him.
Well, you're talking about people that drive for a living. Nothing's a long drive.
Oh, you're moved. You need a scooch. There you go. I just realized you're nowhere near the center of the camera. Like half your face was cut off. So either way, they were getting him in his wheelchair, and I walked outside. Something said, "Hey, go out and greet him. Don't just stand here and wait." And I went out there, and just then they were putting the feet swingy things on the wheelchair. The things that you rest your feet on.
Oh yeah.
But they swing out of the way. So
the footrest.
Footrest. Feet swing. Look,
the feet seats.
They're yes, they are feet seats. Is really what they are. They're like shoes, but not
swingy shoe.
But the thing is like they just do a little latch over.
Yeah. And
then you lock them in place. They couldn't get it. It was like not latching onto the fucking post that's supposed to go on.
Feet seat's not working.
Yeah. So his wife's getting frustrated because she can't do it, and then she realizes one of the brackets is bent. Like whoever threw it in the bed of the thing, like it must have sat on there, bent the thing out of whack. So she's sitting there fighting it, and she's a little woman. She's got some strength to her. Don't get me wrong. If she will crush you with a fucking hug, like she is absurdly strong. So you walk
up and go Shoky fix.
Yeah, I literally. I was standing there watching. I was like, here, give me that. And so at first, it was just the one was like been way out. So I was just trying to, curb, and just I felt it go.
Yep,
perfect. Get back to where she fixed it. So it was just like, I got, something said, go out there.
Now, once again, brute strength is the answer to most questions in life.
Well, like a post that I had once from the Bleach anime. It was a picture for anybody who knows who Kenpachi Zaraki is.
Nope.
You won't, but he's the he likes to kill people. He's incredibly violent and insanely strong. One of the strongest characters, period.
Okay.
So I have a meme of him. It says, Kenpachi Zaraki, if violence isn't solving all your problems, you're not using enough of it.
True.
Yeah. So that's literally, in this case, this was needed a tiny bit of violence
Transitions
to fix the thing.
one of my favorite sayings, overkill is underrated.
There you go.
Because
Yeah,
I got admonished for hammering a copperhead with a 12 gauge.
I mean, if you do it over and over.
That was just once.
Oh, you mean hammering it? Like,
No, like boom.
oh, I thought you meant you hit
Double out buck to a copperhead.
It is a little bit of overkill.
Nah, it's underrated. It didn't move.
Either way. So, either way.
Well, it also bit my dog. It bit Lola.
Okay, so there we go. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
And Nixie was jumping back and forth, acting like a crazy, dodging it. And the old man, he was out there with the 22 Magnum, wobbling around trying to
hit this moving snake
Move.
with a 22. Yeah. No, in that case, yes, I agree. That was necessary. My dad would just use a shovel if he couldn't shoot it.
Well, it was on my way out the door.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did not have large caliber weapons. We just had 22s.
Oh, mine are posted everywhere.
Yes, I know. I've seen. So either way, back to the story. So we went to church. We're in a good mood, and then we're leaving. Oh God. Okay. So let me get into this right quick. So before going to my mother's house, which has already got me anxious, as I mentioned last week.
Why did you agree to do that?
It was my idea.
You're dumb.
No, because I was told if I wanted to participate and feel like being a part of the family, I should try. So I tried. Either way, as we're about to leave church, one of the other people that we consider friends now walks up and said, "Hey, Kia," we got the new car. Like, so what do y'all think? You got a Kia. What do you think? And so we gave him a quick rundown. But as I'm standing there with the door open, I look into the car and I notice what looks to be new ashes on the inside of the door and the back seat. So my thought is immediately, the wifey is smoking in the car again. And so she's already in the car. She's not feeling good, which it plays into this morning. So I say, well, I mean, the car's really good, but it looks like we're going to have to get it cleaned again because somebody, what? I can't see that. What
Tornado warning right now.
Oh, fun.
Here.
Nice. We'll be okay. It's a warning, not a watch, so we're okay.
Still.
Watches are
I'm
bad.
not used to seeing the Weather Channel app be all red.
Yes, but a watch means fine cover.
Oh, trust me. Lived in New Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm used to tornadoes. We had one jump our house.
Yeah. We're fine here.
I remember telling as a child being thrown into the bathtub with a twin mattress over us.
Yeah. That happens.
Yeah, it was a regular occurrence just about every spring.
So, speaking of that, I caused a tornado in the car in the ways of an angry Jessica.
What, shitstorm?
Yeah. So I gave myself a shitstorm by mentioning, I said, okay, well, I guess she's grounded because she's apparently smoking in the car again. And she's like, what? Fuck you. Like, in front of her.
In front of church people?
She was so pissed. But I thought she was mad because I jokingly said that she's grounded. You know? That's not why she was mad.
Because you ratted her out, she was still smoking in the car.
She had kept the fact that she smokes, period, a secret from church people. I did not know this. She kept the secret of the secret from me.
And then the fight happened.
The fight happened. She was very, very upset. And I'm like, why are you mad?
Then quit smoking.
Yeah, that was my joke. But so we're leaving from the south end of town. We're going out to my parents' house towards New Caney. So not a far drive.
Yeah, 35 minutes.
Not even. Yeah. And so like she's yelling at me, like screaming at me in the car about this.
That's a fun drive.
Because she said, like, basically, it's like, why did you even say anything? It's like, they didn't know that I smoke or any of this other stuff. And I'm like, who cares? Like, who the fuck cares that you smoke? It's like, It's a normal occurrence in today's age. It's like finding people who don't smoke is actually the oddity.
If she has such a problem with it, then she should.
So my argument, mind you, I'm not yelling back at her.
She'll get there on her own.
Okay,
I have faith.
So let me spell this out. Let's see if this makes sense to anyone else out there. Please write in the comments. For the love of God, write in the comments or the email if this argument makes any sense. Her point of view. I wanted these people to think better of me, and I wanted to keep my smoking a secret. I don't smoke around them. I don't smoke before going to hang out with any of them. Nothing. It's like if she knows she's going to like women's group, she won't smoke beforehand, which I'm pretty sure is a lie because I'm pretty sure she'll smoke at work, and then drive over there. But she has good perfume or whatever, so it masks it pretty well. Especially considering she doesn't smoke in the car anymore. Back when she used to smoke in the car, like the old Civic. Oh God, yeah, there was no covering that.
I smoked for since I was 14.
Yeah,
and it wasn't until I got with my wife. She's asthmatic. My stepdaughter was asthmatic.
Yeah,
so it was don't do it around them, and that just led to me quitting altogether.
So yeah, and so she actually after the accident, she was told to quit to heal faster, which she did effectively quit.
That does impair cellular growth.
It does. So she actually quit for about 3 weeks, like. Straight up was maybe,
but that was fun.
Smoking 1 to 2 a day or a period, instead of most of a pack. So like she got to the point where she wasn't even smoking a pack a week, which was great. And because we had the new car, that made it easier. So I said, "Do not smoke in the new fucking car,
right?
Or I will take it away. It's in my fucking name. I will take it, and she can fucking drive my piece of shit. She can learn to drive a stick, and she can drive it to work." Because I was you have no idea how ballistically angry I was at her. Like, you've known me enough. You have never seen me angry.
Right.
A little perturbed. You've seen me have a problem with things, such as Ghostbusters. But
that's the both of us. Me angry is 100% different.
Like actual anger, especially towards my wife. I was so fucking angry with her when I found out she smoked in the car. Because it was obvious. It was all over the fucking dash. It was on the fucking car door. It's on the back seat.
Yeah.
And I said, "What the fuck did you do?" So either way, first of all I asked her, "Did you smoke in the car again?" And she said, "No, I smoked outside the car, but I had the window open with the AC going." I was like, "That's fucking retarded. If you're gonna smoke outside the car, close the fucking window, because it's just gonna suck the smoke in, and you idiot." Either way. So the argument she had, which is the point of what I was getting at, was I was keeping it a secret from those people. And I said, "Why?
Do any of those other people smoke?"
We don't know.
Oh.
So
are they all keeping a secret from them?
That's what I said. It's like, I bet you anything, half the people you don't smoke around also smoke. And she said, "I was doing it out of respect for these people, showing them that I'm not going to smoke before having interactions with them." And I was like, I'm sure they would love to know that. Because which would you rather? You continue to smoke, they not know about it, and then be shocked to find out you do, or for them to know you do smoke and that you're choosing not to because you respect them. One of those things is showing them respect. The other is you keeping a secret to yourself because you're ashamed.
Right.
That's not about respect. That's about shame, in my mind. What you got?
Oh, I gotta be a smart ass to the wife.
Oh, yeah. So, comment back. Give me an answer to that question, because that's what I said. I was like, which way would you prefer? Keep your secret, and then when it gets out, people think different of you because you've been hiding a secret. Because she even said to me, as you and I are sitting here drinking a beer and or whiskey, she's like, "What if everybody found out that you drink?" I was like, "You mean the people that I meet at the brewery to have church?"
Right.
I was like, "These people know I drink."
Well, Jesus Christ drank.
Jesus Christ drank. You just didn't get drunk.
Exactly.
Now, I do occasionally get a little tipsy.
We have our demons.
Yeah, we do. But I don't go out to do it. It happens as I do the thing. I don't enjoy being drunk.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've needed a ride.
Yeah. I've needed a ride before, but no, usually I've got her. But my point is she tried to use that as an example of me hiding a secret from other people. I'm like, I don't hide people. It's like, I don't hide things from people anymore. It's like, there's no fucking point, because it's always going to come out. I mean, like, stupid shit like that, That's a social behavior. That it's like, okay, so what happens when you decide that some of these people from church are going to come over for a cookout and you want to go have a cigarette on the balcony? And that's their first time in 10 months of knowing you that they discover that you smoke. That's when they judge you, that you've been hiding it the whole fucking time. There's like, it's better that they know you smoke, but because you respect them, you don't smoke around them.
I don't know. At
my
that
opinion.
point, it's one of those arguments you're not going to win.
Well, I don't know if I didn't win, but
It's not about winning.
No, but she did apologize when we got home. She said, "I'm sorry I yelled at you earlier." I was like, she didn't say I was right or anything else like that. She apologized for her behavior. And I said, "Look, I'm sorry because I literally had no idea you were trying to keep it a secret. Why would I think that? You smoke in front of all of our friends."
Yeah.
I was like, everybody we know and hang out with has seen you smoke.
Well, I still vape. I don't hide it.
Yeah. At least
Now, if people have homes they wish me not to, I don't.
that's respect. Right?
You know, my surrogate sister, she's the same way. She'd
Yeah.
rather me not vape in the house.
Yeah.
And after having a talk with her, I don't.
Yeah.
Of course, I gave her shit about it, but
Yeah.
I didn't do it anymore.
And you asked me whenever you first came over,
Yep.
like, do you mind if I vape in the house? And I said, I prefer you didn't.
And I don't.
Because my luck, if it set off the fucking fire alarms, we got to deal with that nonsense for
Oh, trust
10
me,
minutes.
if I haven't done it at the in-laws apartment yet, it's not going to happen.
These can get stupid sensitive. I bet if you vape directly underneath that one right there, I bet it would go off. Just,
Well, I'm not that.
well, I know, but I'm saying you're
I'm
sitting.
not that ambitious.
But I'm saying you're sitting right here, and if you just fucking did a big
well,
cloud.
I'm not going to do it in here because you don't need that kind of vapor and oil and whatever on the collectibles in here.
Yeah, but also I have that stuff out there too, so don't do it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just don't
And
do
it would make the glass weird. And
Believe me, I told her to stop vaping inside because she had the fucking THC vapes,
Yeah.
the Delta 8, Delta 9 vape. And I'm like, can you not do that in here? And she's like, why? I was like, it fucking stinks. I was like, do you not smell what it smells like? It's it's not fruity whatever. It's fucking weed.
I picked up some stuff across the street before coming here today.
Yeah.
And it's, Lord, they had all kind of sales going on. I think I was $30 tops, and I got like 4 different items.
Yeah, she hasn't tried the place directly across the street. But
Go before the 19th, they stopped their sale.
Really? Okay, I'll tell her. Well, she doesn't vape anymore, but she does other stuff.
There's other stuff.
Yeah, but
lots of eatables, and
Yeah, I'll have her go look at
they
it.
actually sell. If you buy enough, they'll give you the hemp blunts.
Ugh,
They work.
don't want it.
You don't want it.
It fucking stinks.
No shit.
I don't want her to stink. Also,
But you want her in a better mood.
So here's the thing. Well, she's on a lot of drugs that should keep her in a better mood.
So I'm on none. That's my
So
only.
okay. So let me get back to how bad
the
yesterday
worst
was.
I take right now is Badville.
Yeah. So let me get back to how bad yesterday was after how good it was. So we yell in the car. She eventually calms down, looks at her phone, and we have a silent drive for about 8 minutes. And then I ask her if she wants to stop and get a drink on the way into the to my mom's house because there's a big gas station right there. So I stop and she's like, "Can you give me a ginger ale or something? My stomach isn't feeling great." I'm like, "Ginger ale actually isn't good for that. It actually can exacerbate it." And she's like, "Well," I was like, "Never mind. Okay." It's like, I will fucking look.
Have a ginger ale.
Yeah. So coincidentally, they had no ginger anything.
Give her 7-Up.
They had fucking nothing.
Go-
like I got her a Dr. Pepper.
Go the Hispanic cure. Give her 7-Up and chicken soup.
Yeah, no, I didn't have that. So we get to my mom's. I didn't call ahead of time. I just show the fuck up. Always. That's just what I do. And it's like, because they're home.
I immediately regret this decision.
I mean, like, I always just show up. It is what it is. I mean, unless it's a planned dealie, obviously they know we're coming. But I wanted to surprise the bitch because I figured if I called and told her we were coming, she'd be like, "Don't fucking bother," or something like that. So I said, "Nope, I'm just gonna spring it on her because fuck her."
I love her so much.
So we show up there. She's in the middle of laundry.
Being nice out of spite.
My dad is sitting down to eat some lunch. He had some peanut butter and jelly toast.
Hey,
and
nothing wrong with that.
And a summer sausage and Swiss cheese sandwich because that goes together.
Like together?
Not together, but like in a stack. I was
I'm gonna
confused.
try that.
I was confused. I was like, why do you have those things in the same pile? That's weird. But either way, so mom doesn't really say anything because she's pulling laundry out. And then he's sitting down to eat. So Jessica stands up for a bit, try to get her land legs, so to speak. And I sit down and talk with the old man while he's eating. You know, we bullshit for a little bit. I show him the barbecue pit and stuff like that, tell him some things. And she's in the living room, and I can hear her talking to my mom. I missed the initial question, which was, so what made y'all decide to come over today?
Huh.
I'd be like, maybe it was the shitty fucking phone call.
Very
last
welcoming.
week. Look, she probably thought that I would just never fucking ever show up again.
Was that her hope?
I don't think it was her hope, but I think it was her expectation. Going back to if. But, like, I saw that. I don't know if you saw that.
You smell toast?
No.
Okay, we're good.
The light flickered again. The camera saw it. If you're on the Patreon and you see that, tell me. Either way, so we play nice. We all sit down to watch TV.
You act nice. That's it.
Yeah. So she's talking about something, like me and my dad end up in the living room with them. And I forget what the fuck she was talking about. Oh, there was an accident right in front of the neighbor's house, like just yesterday. So apparently one of the issues is that my mom has no one to take care of the lawn for her. So she had to mow everything, you know, like 2 acres with the fucking riding mower. She can barely function. Like, half her body is completely numb from the last
brother,
couple
whether
strokes.
they ask you to or not, it's time for you to step up and do it, whether they want you to or not.
1, it's been attempted. 2, this is the established relationship with my parents. Call me when you need something, or else I don't know you need it. This has been the established thing. Mm-hmm. And this is the same thing I told her months ago, the last time we saw them. It's like, look, I know it's going to be rough. The old man's back home. Call me when you fucking need something, because I can't just be here 24/7. And I'm not going to drive 20 minutes out of the way to have nothing to do. It's like, if I just pop over and you don't need me for anything, I'm not just going to show up.
Yeah.
Call me. If I have time that day, I will come over. Otherwise, I will make time to come over as soon as I possibly can. As discussed last week, been stupid fucking busy. Like, so she mowed Saturday afternoon.
Hey, me too.
Yeah. So I couldn't do that. I was at work all day. You know, I don't get off work till 3. You know, and last Saturday I was leaving longer, so I got off about 3:30. So I definitely couldn't have helped her when she would have wanted to help. I would have had to have done it when I could.
Right.
Which would have been...
Yep. Finally hear something. First time we've heard anything since we've put those up.
Loud ass truck. I thought it was sirens.
Helicopter.
No, it's a truck.
Helicopter.
Weird. I don't know why there'd be a helicopter. Either way.
Probably
So either way. Here's the thing. I'm not the only child. My brother and my sister live not that far away. Now, my brother has helped out in the past, especially after what happened to my dad last year. He came over, helped him a few times, but he's also got life to take care of too. He's got kids that, you know, are going through life. He's got a wife who is like permanently fucked up, both from drug use and a car accident. So she's like partially paralyzed is the word I'm looking for. Her neck basically doesn't exist anymore. So her functionality is next to nothing. Not to mention he works a full-time job and his hours keep switching from overnights to all days.
Right.
So he can only be of so much help. Just like I can only be of so much help. My mom is constantly at odds with her sisters. And I guess her brother, you know, my uncle.
Also, she's just accustomed to confrontation.
Yeah. Well, because everyone who doesn't do exactly what she wants has betrayed her.
Okay.
At this particular point. There's no negotiating. There's her way or go the fuck away. There's no nicety. There's nothing. There is, and this is not me hating on my mom.
There's no civil discourse.
This is the reality of the situation. My mom does not know how to be human anymore.
That's awful.
Yes. Because she's been stuck with my dad, who's deteriorating rapidly. She feels like everyone has abandoned her, which she pushed them away.
So she's permanently on the defensive.
Permanently on the defensive.
No, I could see that.
And I was that way for a while until I started socializing again. They have no social life anymore. They used to have either my aunt's wedding hall for working or working with the American Legion, because that's what my dad was doing for like 15 years, working with the Legion.
Which one? The one in Willis?
No, Cleveland.
Okay.
And he got, there's a lot of political drama around that, so I'm not getting into it.
Yep.
But either way, once all that kind of fell apart, his health and her health both deteriorated rapidly over the last 5 years, between strokes, heart attacks, falling down, whatever massive infection he had that nearly killed him. And my mom really and truly hates life at this point. Like, she has said some god-awful things to me about my father that I won't repeat here. And do I resent her for a lot of that? Probably a little, because some of it was fucking horrific. But other than that, it's just like, I told her flat out, if you need me, call me.
Right.
So when she said, well, the last times I called you, you were busy, I was like, then call me another time. It's not that difficult. It's like, I didn't refuse to help you. I didn't refuse to talk to you. I told you, I was like, hey, I'm in the middle of something. Let me get back to you. Or you get back to me later. It's like, call me at a better time. Because she would either call while I was at work, which I've had the same schedule for fucking 13 years. You know, it's like, okay, if you call me at 9 a.m., I can't really do anything for you.
Right.
I'm in a very loud vehicle somewhere in the world. You know?
Doors are open. I'm hauling ass.
Yeah, I was like, I can't hear you. It's like, unfortunately, it's like, if I have a minute to talk, cool. And she's not good at texting. She used to message via Facebook, but since she's off Facebook now, she can't keep up with anybody.
Right.
And good luck telling her to fucking get another Facebook. Good luck telling her to fucking do anything, dude. So, like, we made good for about a couple hours, and then Jessica was literally falling asleep in the recliner. So I said, let's get her home, because she's not been feeling good, like, all day. And so, you know, she gets up, she gets her stuff, she goes to the car, and as I'm walking out, because my dad goes with Jessica, I said, look, don't get out there and fucking kill yourself on the mower like that. Call me and let me know when you want me to come mow for you. She said, don't even bother.
Oh, good grief.
And I said, it's like, never, don't bother, I'll handle it myself. I'm like, no, call me when you want me to come help you with something. If you don't, I don't know what you need.
Right.
And it's like, just simple as that. You know, years ago, we floated the idea of, like, buying because I got 2 plots of land, buying the one plot that's barely developed and putting a trailer or something over there and basically living next door so that we could help them. And she wouldn't go for it.
It almost sounds like you and your siblings need to get on a schedule.
We tried this.
Start floating that.
No, we tried this. This has all been tried.
Really?
All of it was tried. And either my mom fucked it up, or basically everyone's life just, there's too much going on to make it happen. It's like, that's the biggest issue, is the only one who really has the time to do anything is my oldest brother, and he's nowhere near here. He lives up in Teague. So Mejia. So that's a good fucking drive.
That's down.
Huh?
Mejia?
That's north. That's Corsicana.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Refugio.
Yeah, so it's south. Mejia,
I'm the other way.
Mejia is south and west of Corsicana.
There you go.
Yeah, you know where that is.
I do.
Yeah, you're very aware.
That 'twas born there.
Yeah, 'twas born there. So
Actually, 'twas born Dallas.
either way.
But my grandparents actually moved onto that property not long after my parents moved into Mexico. Mm-hmm. So I've been going to that same property my entire life until basically my grandparents got to where they couldn't care for themselves.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's the other thing. Is like, it's not like we could move them here to help them.
Right.
And my mom last year wanted...
Which is what we're gearing up for in the future. When we build our house, when my father-in-law gets to where he can't stay on his own, we're building him a small home.
Which ain't that far off, honestly.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But right behind our house.
Yeah.
And then when whoever needs it, my mother or father, whichever them ends up left alone, they're going to be moving in.
It's
when
basically
the
whichever...
But we're planning for that already.
It's the old person suite.
It's a given. It's going to happen.
So even way back when I was still single, and I lived back there for a little while, and I didn't know if or when I was going to leave there until I met Jessica. I was thinking about, instead of living in the main house, getting one of the small homes or a small trailer, like a little bitty guy, moving into the backyard, basically have a bachelor pad.
Yeah.
But that way I would still live there. I'd have the shop. I could use the garage, everything I needed to do, but I'd be there to help them. And this is way before anything was going horrendously wrong.
Right.
But now it's like she wanted to sell everything and get a new house that they wouldn't have to worry about maintaining.
Kind of like a condo or something where someone else would do all the maintenance.
Well, I floated that idea of getting into like an old folks community where basically you just rent the fucking quote unquote house, but everything else is taken care of by maintenance, and they have connection to medical staff if necessary. And
that was met with hostility.
Well, they're all very expensive.
Yeah.
So she could sell the land. The house is mostly useless because nobody's going to want it as it goes, even though she just spent a fuckload of money fixing it last year because it was falling apart, literally falling off the lack of foundation. So she wanted to sell everything and basically buy a new house, pay cash for that, like a new house, pay cash for that, just something they wouldn't have to fucking really maintain, a small yard, that kind of stuff. Stay local, but, get out of an old place that they can't take care of, because neither of them has the capability anymore.
Hell, at this point, it'd be cheaper to get on a cruise ship and stay there.
I don't think that would work out too well
Yeah.
with the old man with dementia.
Oh, yeah.
And my mom who needs medical attention all the fucking time. So, no, that wouldn't work out, unfortunately. I don't even know if she'd want to go on a cruise. But basically, she's had zero ability to retire and have a happy life.
That's rough.
Yeah, no ability. And that's been life for the last 20 years. She hasn't had a real job since 2012, 2013.
And see, I don't see me not working.
Well,
ever.
she worked forever. I mean, she's retired from 3 different jobs.
Yeah.
Like, retired. So, and then still did shit. But my dad effectively fully retired at 55 and only picked up side gigs here and there, just to not be bored. Like he was a computer teacher at my school when I was in elementary for 1 year, maybe 2. And then...
he got tired of kids.
No, I think they probably just didn't want to continue with that program. Anyways, because that was when PCs first started coming out. And he was teaching us how to use the floppy disks and all that kind of stuff. Because that
was a long time ago.
Yeah, so he was
Carmen Sandiego.
Way before that, number muncher on the number muncher on the fucking 8-inch floppies.
Yeah,
that kind of shit. So because he worked with computers when they first fucking came, because he worked at Memorial Hospital District. So he was used into the world of computers back then. So he was perfectly good to teach everybody, and still had lots of life. Because fuck it, he was 57, nothing better to do, right? So mom did everything otherwise. But I think at this point, she has no compassion, no patience, no any sympathy or empathy for anything other than her own problems at this point. Because that's evident by just calling and venting.
Yeah.
No, how's your day? Nor whatever. She'll start out with, so what's going on? And then go on a 17-minute diatribe of everything that's going wrong.
Right.
And then if you say anything or offer a solution, no, it's like, whatever.
I'll see. And my parents are the exact opposite. Me and my mom get along well. Me and my dad get along great because he's always calling me saying, hey, how do I do this? How do I fix this? Hey, I need your help building this.
Yeah.
He, at some point, realized I know how to do things. And I love my dad to death, but if it's not law enforcement or anything to do with criminal justice, he really didn't know a lot. He wasn't taught to swing wrenches or build things, and neither was I. I had to learn all that by myself because I had to, because I wanted to.
I'll say we grew up doing that.
Well, but we didn't.
Yeah.
I love my dad to death. I'm going to embarrass him and tell a story. I walked out on him on his old F-250 on Ford with a naturally aspirated 7.3.
Okay.
He was changing a serpentine belt, struggling, cursing, sweating his ass off.
Yeah.
That poor guy was trying to lift up the tensioner pulley by hand and slipped the belt underneath. Yeah. I walked up, grabbed the right socket, grabbed the cheater bar.
Yeah.
2 fingers bent enough. We went, shut up, go away.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah. Been there, done that. So actually, embarrassing enough, my dad did a thing one time. So he was somewhat car literate, but hefty stuff, no clue. And he wanted to do something with his rear brakes. His rear brakes felt out of whack on his little Ford Ranger. So he jacked up the truck, pulled it apart.
Drum or rotor?
Drum.
Those are fun.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are if you have the right tools. They're not bad.
No, they're not. I hate drum brakes.
They're not bad.
Glad they need to go away forever. So he basically looks at it and goes, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And put it all back together. And then at that point, my car was in the paint shop.
He didn't put the slack adjuster in backwards, did he?
No, he didn't actually take the brakes apart. He took the drum off and went, okay, I don't
This
know.
is different.
Yeah, so he took the drum off, had no clue what he was doing, put it back on, put the wheel back on. So I had to drive his truck for a few days while my car was in the body shop. I was just getting a paint job, not going to be anything crazy, a couple days. So I'm driving to work. This is back when I worked the regular shift. So I leave for work at like 7:30. I don't know what fucking time I left. It was a 30-minute drive to work. I'm in his truck. I make the turn from 3083 onto the South Loop. And all of a sudden, I hear wham, and I no longer have drive power. And I look back, and the truck is...
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I get out of the truck. I look down at the rear wheel that is no longer there. It is... The brake drum is no longer there.
It's not the brake wheel.
I look across the intersection, and I see the wheels still going.
Come back.
And the brake drum is in traffic directly in front of me.
Oh, no.
So he had a nice set of aluminum wheels. What don't you do with lug nuts?
Over torque them.
He kept going until they were tight.
Oh, no.
Which meant he dug those lug nuts
Oh, no.
completely through the fucking wheels.
Use a torque wrench.
He was using just a fucking X wrench.
Or you go one or two ugga-duggas, and that's it.
He was using just a fucking X wrench. Old school. Okay, so props that he kept turning this bitch by hand.
With a four-way, 2 grunts is good enough.
Yeah, but look at it this way. He put all 5 fucking lug nuts by hand through that wheel. Through the fucking wheel.
He was angry.
And I'm like, I call him and I'm like, hey, what did you say you did with your truck the other day? and I said, your rear wheel just fell off on me as I was turning. And I noticed it was getting very shaky prior to that, which it would do.
RUNDOFT.
Yeah.
Done runned off.
Yeah. So I called my best friend who was already at work, and I said, hey, I need a ride to work. And he's like, what do you mean? Well, I'm on the side of the road with my dad's truck, and I'm lacking a wheel that used to be here. And he's like, oh, okay. And so he drove over to get me. A few minutes later, my parents showed up, and the tow truck showed up.
You didn't have a spare on board?
No.
Because why wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, like, I think it... No, because he had a spare... I forgot what happened. He had a spare once, but it was like an old Steely.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything was the right size. I can't remember why he didn't have it anymore.
Oh, Lord.
No, I remember it had a spare at one point, and then it didn't anymore. I don't recall why. But either way, there was no way I could do anything with it. There was no jack. There was no nothing. I couldn't even get this bitch off the ground. So... I retrieved the wheel, I retrieved the brake drum, I throw both in the bed of the truck, and they called the fucking flatbed to come get it. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to go to work with him. And by that point, I already called my supervisor, let him know what was going on. And then he gave us both the day off because we were at bottom total pole anyways. So I said, okay, cool. So... You know, we ended up just fucking around all day, but while my dad was dealing with the fucking tow truck. And I was like, you're paying for all this shit. You did it.
Right.
So he ended up having to get a whole new set of wheels and everything else like that.
Oh, gosh.
Because what else could you do?
See, Dad's easy. He projects come up.
Yeah.
He says, send me a shopping list.
Yeah.
And it's links. Or it's a complete checkout cart ready to go. And boom, okay. He doesn't ask questions.
Yeah.
He says, this is, I know this is what we need. No questions asked. Yeah. And we did his oil the other day. He was great to work with. Did everything I asked him to. And he says, I never knew it was this easy.
No, you mean your dad?
My dad.
Okay, just making sure.
But he it changed the oil on that
So-
old 6.0.
Yeah. So, I mean, he could do basic stuff. That's not a problem. But, of course, I had already gone to school for everything and also studied anything else. So, I worked on my car. At this point, I've already stripped and rebuilt my cars in multiple ways. I was on my third Neon. I had already gone through my Miata. I had already had my other nice cars, all this other stuff. So, the one that was getting painted was the car that I'd built for handling and built the motor for. Whereas the body kit one that was lowered and had the neons on it was still in the garage. So
Yeah.
I had no usable cars at that particular moment. Actually, at that point, was that? Okay, I hadn't got my apartment yet, so I did not have the Miata yet. Sorry, I got to think about when this happened. Because the Miata was a trade for from one car, traded one of my neons to my buddy who had the Miata for a clutch job. And then straight up for the car.
See, I can never go through cars like that. I get very attached to a vehicle.
This one
I drive it till it falls apart.
I mean, this was my fourth current vehicle.
Yeah.
So I had two neons in my Thunderbird, and this was on my third neon.
It was hell my most utilitarian vehicle I ever owned. One of my favorites was a 2000 Isuzu Trooper.
Yeah.
That thing was great.
Yeah.
It was first vehicle I ever had with buttons.
Yeah.
And I got excited every time I got to push a new button.
Oh my God.
Because winter rolled around and
Yeah.
everything was frosted.
Yeah.
Ooh, new button.
Such a dork.
Well, it was coming from an 80 model Camaro.
Yeah, I mean that's an upgrade.
Yeah.
Technologically anyway. It's not an upgrade vehicle wise, it's an upgrade technologically. But I mean
But it was great. Everything worked.
So I mean I had a toy, I had a show car that was in progress, and then I had the third vehicle that was going to be just used as something else. I bought a spare car from my cousin. It was another neon, but I bought it from him, and then that's where we traded it for the. What is that? Yeah, that's how it was. I traded an old engine and that body for the Miata with a clutch job.
Yep.
So it was just circulating cars.
Well, you always got to have at least one oh crap car.
Yeah,
And that's where our Suburban comes in.
yeah.
It says if something happens and someone needs something to drive last minute, it's the Suburban.
Yeah, so we don't have that right now, and I'm not about to attempt to go fire up the old neon at my parents' house. So this is the other problem. So if my mom told me to fuck off forever, all my big tools and my car are there.
Well, you can come store them at the barn.
Nah, I'm not going to do all that. What I need to do is I need a workshop of my own here. So if they ever come up with a garage that's on this side of the fucking facility, I will get it and use it for such. Problem is they're always over there on the other end, and I'm not doing that. I can't.
What, an extra $200 a month?
125.
Yeah.
So, which is up because it used to be 100.
It's about the same as a storage unit.
Yeah, but I can't use a storage unit as a workshop. They get mad about that.
They do.
Yeah, so I can use a garage as a workshop because they don't pay attention. So either way, we deal with all this nonsense, right? We go home. We have a decent evening last night. I make sandwiches.
I had said sandwich.
You
It was
did have
good.
sandwich. So I made that nice pulled pork. That's
A little
Cuban-style
little
pork.
Southern Cubano.
Yes, basically. Decided to make Cubano sandwiches. But either way, let that lead to this morning, and I mean early this morning, around 1 o'clock. Jessica gets out of bed and runs to the bathroom. And all I hear is,
Oh,
so she had been nauseous all fucking
I
day.
was shouting at Huey, huh?
Yep. So she had been nauseous all fucking day. The Ozempic fucks her up, right? So she had eaten a good breakfast.
Here, you'll lose weight, but you'll be miserable.
Horrendously miserable. So the problem is that much like myself, she's a little bit behind on the emptying of the lower end of her body.
Yeah.
Except apparently she's many days behind on that.
Get you some jerked prunes.
She took 2 Dulcolax and a big old cup of Miralax, and nothing came out.
Oh, Lord.
Nothing came out that end. Everything came out the top end. Everything she ate yesterday, including her meds.
Oh, fuck.
Which means she didn't digest hardly.
She puked her soul.
But here's the point. She basically ate and everything over the course of Sunday, and nothing fucking digested. Like, basically, her body has shut off her digestive tract because there's nowhere for anything to go.
That sucks.
Yeah. So this is one of the major side effects of Ozempic and drugs like this is that it does slow down your digestive tract.
See, I'm trying so hard to stay off of any kind of drugs.
Yeah. Well, the doctors put her on it, and it has helped her lose weight.
Like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. They don't even know why the drug does what it does. They just know it does it.
Exactly.
So either way, they want to switch her to Mounjaro because it has less horrible side effects and apparently helps you lose weight faster in a lot of cases. But right now, even all the laxatives she took couldn't get through the system to actually be effective. And she tried to go to the bathroom a lot to the point that she basically made herself sick. So she threw up like 3 times this morning. She even threw up on the way to work. She threw up
That's miserable.
in the car in traffic and like had to swallow it.
Makes my last week feel kind of not bad.
Yeah, you were sick last week.
I was sick from Monday
So-
night till yesterday.
Yeah, so tell us all about that while I switch the camera off me for a minute.
It was primarily the, I don't know, just like a cold, flu, fever, body aches, and it just stuck around, made me tired. Started Tuesday morning when I got home, and I did nothing but sleep, eat a little bit, and sleep some more, and go to work. I did that all the way until Saturday. Saturday, I had to mow because the rain we're having now. I had to get some work done. I started feeling a little better. I hit the yard and pushed and pushed and pushed. Did some work on the wife's car, stayed busy there, and then sat down and felt like I got hit by a freight train.
Well-
I mean, just all of a sudden, wham, everything's tired. I can hardly move. I'm lethargic.
Yeah.
And I sit around on the front porch for about an hour.
Yeah.
Finally get up, take a shower, and go to bed. I stay in bed from probably 4 o'clock till 8 p.m., 9 p.m. that night. I get up.
Okay, afternoon.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I get up, have a little something, make myself eat something, then go back to bed only to have night terrors all night.
Yeah.
I mean, the father-in-law, he said he was sitting out in his chair and he could hear me thrashing around, moaning, banging around.
Yeah.
I wake up at 3:15 Sunday morning, hurting everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, my shoulders, my arms, I'm bruised. I'm beat the hell up.
Yeah.
I mean, everything hurts. And I remember having crazy, stupid, vivid, weird, not
Dreams.
awful, not nightmares, just confusing and nonsensical.
Yeah.
And I got up, stayed up till about 9. I made myself some sushi rice,
Yeah.
and some soft boiled eggs, a little bit of cheese. Had that for breakfast with a touch of soy,
So
because it wouldn't mess my stomach up.
yeah.
And I went back to bed again until about 8 or 9 that night.
Yeah. So let me pause you for a second. When you say night terrors, what were night terrors for you, and have you experienced them before?
I did for a while after returning home from Afghanistan.
Okay. Was that kind of a PTSD response?
Yes.
Okay.
But this, I don't know. I think it was the combination of the Mucinex and the Dayquil or whatever else I was taking. And for some reason, my dumb ass decided to have a drink before bed. I think that combination
That'll
really
do
caused
some of
it.
it, yeah. Well, because like I had night terrors growing up, but I had the
Well, this is the first time in years.
so okay.
That's why it bothered me.
Okay, so when you got back from Afghanistan, what did it manifest as?
Just sleepless nights, alcohol dependence, wanting to escape. But
But I mean the night terrors specifically.
nothing. I had a hard time remembering. All I know
I'm just
is that
saying, like, it never got out of bed or anything, just kind of thrash about.
I'd thrash.
Okay, but you never got out of bed.
I'd wake up and I'd have a hard time getting back to sleep.
So it was kind of a combination of deep,
That and being hyper alert.
yeah,
That's still a side effect. I'm still hyper alert all the damn time.
yeah. Well, you tend to be kind of hyper anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like for me, my night terrors as a kid were almost living nightmares, and I would sleepwalk.
Oh, I
So-
never had them that bad.
Yeah, so basically, I would sleepwalk and be living a dream,
But I knew it was bad,
but not violence.
or perceived to be bad, because I woke up Sunday morning at 3:15 with Nixie on my right side, River on my left, Bandit on my feet,
Yeah,
and Lola with her head sitting beside my bed with her head on my hand.
yeah,
All of them just pinning me down.
yeah. Trying to keep you from moving around.
Yeah.
yeah,
So it was nice having all my critters there, looking after me.
Yeah.
But I knew something had happened.
Yeah.
Because they never do
you
that.
happened. You like they're like, Dad, calm the fuck down.
Because Nixie was wedged and River was wedged and
Yeah.
trying to keep me still.
Surprised I didn't try to wake you.
I'm sure they did because
So your face was probably wet. You're like,
of Nixie.
Fucking Nixie looking at it.
But-
wake up, Dad.
I don't know. I know something was up because they were acting different.
Yeah. Yeah, the combination of some of those things plus
that night
booze
hurt.
would do it.
I'd scheduled one of my best friends to work in the barn for 4 hours that day.
Yeah.
And I hurt so bad everywhere. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
I was lethargic. And I said,
Well,
I had to
the
cancel.
sheer body aches would have been ridiculous just from the work, not to mention
I
being sick.
still have a massive bruise on the back of my tricep from where I probably slammed it against the end table, or the side table.
Yeah. Because I know, depending on if I take something at night to sleep, I can have different reactions for sure. Since I've had the CPAP, less reactions.
Well, I cut myself off the cold and flu meds.
Yeah.
Slept great today.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to sleep great tonight or tomorrow morning.
Yeah, when you get to sleep again.
This is my zombie day.
Yeah. So like the other night I was hurting pretty bad. So I've had an issue with when I go back to the chiropractor next Monday, I'm going to have her look at this because it's been an ongoing problem and I need to see if there's a fix. So my right thigh, down the whole front of it until about halfway is either 100% numb to the touch or on fire constantly. And if I stand for a long period of time in one spot, even a little bit of movement, it gets so much worse. And that's my short leg. So I don't know if it's an angle problem because I do have one of my legs is shorter.
It's the throw gag.
Yes. So one of my legs is shorter than the other, and it's really noticeable when I get on something like an elliptical or a
Your
bike.
shirt's not something that like they correct when they do the hip adjustments and all that at the chiropractor?
I've never had that done.
Where they
No,
actually-
but I mean, I measured. My legs are literally different lengths.
Well, that happens a lot when you favor one of your legs. My chiropractor, who I'll probably go see this Wednesday, when you're laying on your back, he measures your legs. You can feel one shorter than the other.
Yeah.
I can feel it when I'm just
Unless,
laying there. But anyway,
unless I've had something out of alignment my entire
he
life.
grabs your ankle.
Yeah, I know what
and
happens.
repositions
Yeah.
everything. He yanks on. You feel the whole hip drop.
No, I've never had that done.
It's awesome.
So I will talk to them and see if there's anything they can do about
If
that.
they won't, go see Dr. Whalen.
We'll see. Because I don't know how they feel about going to see a different doctor while you're under care of another one.
Yeah, true.
There may or may not be a contractual situation there, considering I pay them money every month.
Yeah, all right.
So the thing is like, it's been getting worse lately. Like, it's burning right now as we're sitting here. Normally, it's after I stand and do shit for a long time. I think it has something to do with something around my sciatic, but it also got significantly worse after I had shingles. And
Is it more back, upper hip?
No, it's literally down the front of my thigh. From my hip down to about halfway down my thigh.
Okay.
And it burns like deep.
On the back, on the back side?
Inside.
Oh, dear.
Like the muscle.
Like your groin.
No. Oh, sorry, no. The front end, not the groin. So, no. So, look at your thigh like you're facing forward from like your hip down about halfway down your thigh.
Okay.
That, like, draw a U shape there. So, imagine a big cut of meat. That is numb to the touch until you get about 3/4 of the way down my leg. But that area burns like a deep tissue burn.
That sucks.
It feels like it's on fire, like right now as I'm sitting here.
Like I said, if your hips aren't even and your flexors and all
But-
that aren't even and evenly distributing the weight, that can be the issue.
It could be, and I mean, but when I discovered one leg was shorter than the other was a long time ago.
Once your contract's up, you're going to go see my guy.
We'll see. I mean, I'll have mine look at it because I mean they've done X-rays and shit. So if they had seen anything like that, like my hips were out of whack from the way I was driving.
That the lean.
It was the lean, but also the fact that it was the lean combined with low elbow rest, high elbow rest.
Yeah.
So my shoulders and hips were like this; they were like a greater than.
That's my
sign.
little van seat. That thing tears my back up. I'm looking for alternatives, but it's so hard to swap those seats out because of the side curtain airbags and all that other stuff.
Correct.
I may just have to get a reupholstery done. Something big and plush and comfortable.
Just something else, yeah. But it could be that maybe it's getting worse because of the new truck I've got.
Yeah.
It could be that the seat is just different. So maybe it's something because it's been in the last couple months since they've really changed things up at
You
work.
don't stretch in the mornings?
No, I
Helps.
just go do the thing.
Do you shower in the morning?
No,
See, I do.
I shower after work. I don't shower before.
Yeah, I shower before work and I do my stretching there.
I shower after work or before bed. I don't shower before work. It's a waste of time for me.
Yeah.
Because then it means I'm going to bed dirty. And I
Yeah,
don't want
true.
that. You know, I don't want to go to bed stinky. because it's bad enough. So that's one thing I was saying is one of the side effects I have is if I take ibuprofen before bed and I don't wear my CPAP, I will burst like a fucking bubble. Like literally just my body temperature will skyrocket because I'll fall asleep so fast. I'll hit REM sleep within 3 minutes.
Nice.
And that will cause my body to go into a weird shock to where my temperature skyrockets like a breaking a fever, and I will soak the fucking bed with sweat.
See, I've been having trouble falling asleep quickly here lately. It's taken me longer and longer. I have to do breathing exercises.
Yeah.
To gear myself into a state of ready for sleep.
Oh, so I don't have that problem. Like, especially now.
Even with my CPAP.
Yeah.
You know, I do the, you essentially, it's weird. It's a neurobiological thing. You cover one eye.
Okay.
And what the covering the eye does is it somehow cuts off your internal monologue. Any song, any thoughts, it's gone.
Oh, never heard of that.
Try it one night. It's really cool.
I don't have that big of a problem.
And then you combine covering that right eye with a breathing exercise where you inhale as much as you can all the way to the tippy top. And then you take one more sharp, top it off, and you exhale slowly. You repeat that 3 or 4 times and then stop and breathe normally while covering that eye. And eventually, within like 2 or 3 minutes, I'm out.
All I'm hearing is the stupid music and AI voiceover for those YouTube ads. If you just do this one trick that everybody has known about for 652
I heard it on a
years.
different podcast and was like, that's so stupid. Okay, I'll try it.
But have you seen these stupid ads on YouTube where it's like, people are now fixing their problems with their eyes with this simple little fix. If you do this fix for just 30 seconds every night,
that right there makes me turn it off immediately.
And I love it. It's like they're talking about like people fixing their eyes and they're holding a spoon over their eye and tapping it. And it's just like, I know doctors did that back in the day.
No, but
not doing it.
Covering your left eye, internal monologue. If you got a song stuck in your head, if you're thinking about stuff and your brain won't shut down, that does.
Well, you know what's funny? I haven't had that.
So weird.
Since I've been wearing my CPAP nearly every night now, I don't have any of those problems.
Is it covering one eye?
I just fall the fuck asleep. Like, it's just like, okay, so Jessica takes like multiple drugs at night. And if she doesn't take all of them, she can't sleep. But then sometimes she can't sleep even with it. And she's supposed to be wearing her CPAP, but she doesn't. She even told her doctor she was, and she's not. So either way.
They can see that on the data.
They don't check. Well, they can see that there's literally nothing to report for the last 5 months. Because especially once I had to start doing it really badly for work, because
they track it.
Now that they do, because once again, I've only been on it for over a year, a little over a year. She said, I will wear mine in solidarity. I was like, you're supposed to be wearing it for your own fucking health. So, okay, look at it this way. She's on 2 different blood pressure meds to fucking regulate her blood pressure now because it was going up too much and her diastolic wasn't getting down.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, I've checked my blood pressure recently due to the physicals and stuff. And since I've been wearing my CPAP, lo and behold, they told me it would lower my blood pressure. I've had high blood pressure my entire fucking life. Guess what else I've had my entire fucking life? Sleep apnea.
Right.
So now that I'm actively combating my sleep apnea, I have a feeling my blood pressure will naturally be significantly lower.
I fought my CPAP. I was driving for Maverick.
I fought it for years.
Well, running flatbed.
Yeah.
And as part of my employment there, I had to be under a CPAP.
Yeah.
Because they made me do the sleep test.
It's a DOT thing, yeah.
But anyway, I fought it so long, and then finally it clicked. Okay, I'm sleeping better.
Yeah.
Okay, this is great. And then my wife wouldn't let me go to bed without it because if not, I'd snore.
Snore like a motherfucker, yeah.
So now I'm stuck with it. I don't know what I'm not under insurance right now. This machine's starting to, it may wear out eventually. It may die.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm going to do if it does.
Go through, Jessica works for a sleep clinic, so maybe we can figure something out.
Give me a refurb unit or something.
I mean, they might just be able to get you new parts.
Right. This is old school, old Respironics, old school.
Okay, maybe not then. I don't know. We'll figure something out. It doesn't matter. So, like, she's got to take care of the last order I put through for parts. Because they can write off a good chunk of it.
Right.
Just do whatever. Like, I actually didn't initially pay for my machine. And then they're like, oh, by the way, you owe us some money for that. It's like, good thing you said something 6 months later.
Oh, mine died, and my mother had one just like it, and she hated it. So she gave me hers, and it's been a rock.
And I wanted Jessica's machine because it does have the self-monitoring stuff, but it's coded to her stuff. And I'm like, well, can y'all switch it to me?
Yep.
She's like, no, it's not that easy.
I
I was
want
like,
one-
this sounds like a SIM card
If
problem.
I ever get another one, I want one with an app that I can.
Yeah, that's
read
what
all
hers
the-
is.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's an APAP, not a CPAP, but it has the alternate
'cause
functions.
I've tried wearing my Galaxy Watch while I sleep. And,
Yeah.
I hate wearing stuff on my wrist when I'm sleeping.
I think if you get like a Whoop, it's so much smaller than a watch. It's more like just a wristband.
What's a Whoop?
It's a tracker, fitness tracker.
Oh, there
but it's
it
got
is.
an app and all that.
Yeah.
But it's like way smaller. Shut up.
I was waiting.
I don't want to get into this nonsense. But either way, like a lot of these fitness trackers are not gigantic anymore. They're like a little bit more than a regular band.
I'll look at a Whoop.
Yeah, it's like a whole system.
My sister and her family, they use the Fitbits.
Fitbits are fine too. Oh, by the way, our other farm friends, as it were, I friended on Facebook now.
Good.
I friended since you didn't want me saying names. So now
Short and shorter.
yeah, short
Yeah.
and shorter. So, so I friended him this weekend, and
Yeah.
then she sent me a friend request
Sweet.
just earlier before we came in here.
Yeah, we should be there later in the month.
Yeah.
Over at their place.
And I totally misunderstood what their last name was until I saw it written down. The way you said it does not sound like the way it's spelled. So I
That's
was
the
like,
way it was yelled at me to say it.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's how you say that?
Because I said it wrong, and his dad went, "No, it's this."
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
maybe it's that, and that's fine. I've just never seen it. So either way, so you're feeling significantly better now.
Significantly.
Okay.
I no longer want to punch a baby.
Well, that's always good.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have any here, so I wasn't too
Oh.
worried about it. We don't
But
have.
no, I'm getting to the point where I'm happier. I'm chipper now. I'm feeling good.
Yeah. Except for your bruises.
Shut up.
What? They're self-inflicted. It's your fucking fault.
I know. Shut up.
Literally.
My own worst enemy sometimes.
In the very literal sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But no,
I'm kicking my own ass. Stuck in the bathroom, just beating the shit out of himself. What the fuck is this?
But no, here in the next few days, things are going to get better. I'm going to get back to my nonstop go, my busy.
My nonstop go.
I miss it.
Yeah.
I don't like being stagnant. I really don't.
No, that's one reason
I'm
why-
a doer. I'm not a sitter. I'm not a waiter. I like to be going. I have things I have to get done.
Yeah. No, I understand because like last week when you were sick and we didn't do trivia night and anything else like
It
that,
was a boring week.
it was a boring week, which I needed to
At
slide.
the same time, it was
break,
nice.
The break was nice, except that I napped twice last week.
You
And I've
never
been-
nap,
Well, I used to always nap because I was escaping life.
but naps are nice.
Naps are nice, except
Un-
for when you
unless-
need to do shit. and
Unless
you-
naps turn into comas and it's like midnight.
So
That's why I have a hard time napping.
So my problem is that not last week, but in other times, I would nap for like 5 fucking hours.
Yeah.
The entire afternoon. And
Hey,
like I have shit to do. It was like
You get home early. It's 2:00. Hey, I'm going to take a nap. I'll be up at 5. Nope, 10:00 that night.
Yeah.
When am I?
yeah. But like so it used to be I'd get home, I'd eat lunch, and then I'd hit a fucking carb coma. But then like I could tell something was wrong because I would wake up, my body would weigh like 1,000,000 pounds, and
Yeah.
I couldn't get off the couch, and I'd go right back to sleep. And then however much time later, which is probably like 45 minutes to an hour later, same thing. I try to get up, can't fucking get up, just go back to sleep.
I did that this morning. I was alarm went off at 11.
Yeah.
Looked at my alarm, closed my eyes, looked again. It was 11:45. Went,
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah. But even though you were still early.
Better late.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I mean, you got lunch.
Yeah. If you're on time,
I
you're
actually
late.
fed you for once.
Yay, me.
Yes. But you did come so early that I had to stop doing the project I was doing. So if you're watching on the Patreon, you notice that the detolfs look a little bit different than they did the last go round. And actually on the fat cam, you can see, no, you can't. I moved it out of the way. Never mind. So my camera's crooked. It's like, either the shelves are all crooked. It's hard to tell. One, because I got the bent arm from the boom mic, and then either my shelves are not straight or the camera is ever so slightly crooked, and I think it is a camera, but I'm not going to fuck with it right now. Either way, so I was working on that earlier before you came over, and I was filming that.
That could
process.
be like an Escher painting, you know?
No, it's not. I think it's actually fucking crooked. It could also be that thing's unlevel, and I just don't know it. Because you have to turn the fucking feet on the thing down there to get it leveled, and it weighs 1,000,000 fucking pounds down, so it's a little hard to level. So either way, I was trying to get the light fixtures installed and everything there. I got most of the way through. I got the wires cinched up and stuff, but I haven't got a chance to add the new lights.
Say you're missing that one.
Yeah.
The new ones.
Well, that was the progress. You got here while I was moving the boxes from there down to the bottom so that I can make use of that.
Even though I got here early, we still started late.
Yeah, we started late because, well, a lot of other things was going on. I was doing laundry and all this other shit.
Eclipse.
And the Eclipse. So let's talk about Eclipse Day, which we didn't experience much of. Instead, we got Tornado Day, apparently.
For real.
We got tornado warnings.
The rain started coming. It started getting really dark, really, really dark. And then it's like it lasted like 10 minutes.
I got like a wifey here somewhere. I could see it out of the corner of my eye.
10 whole minutes of being dark and then it light right back up.
Damn Skippy.
Rain,
once
blue.
again, if we didn't know there was an eclipse, we'd have just thought it was severe clouds because that's all it looked like. It looked like night, briefly.
No portals to hell open, nothing like that.
So speaking of the portals to hell, one of the crazy things that was scheduled for today, although technically not 100% true, was we mentioned earlier that the CERN Super Collider was being reactivated. So I have this article here from pointer.org. And so it's addressing the ever so big question, is CERN activating the world's most powerful particle accelerator for the April 8th eclipse? The answer is no. So basically, there was a lot of stuff online where people were like, oh my God, they're activating the thing. They're going to use it during the eclipse to open up a portal to somewhere, somehow, somewhen. And for those that don't know, CERN has the Large Hadron Collider, which is what they use to do kind of experiments in physics and nuclear stuff. Basically, they slam particles together at different rates of speed to see what the fuck happens. And the last time they did a major experiment on it was, I mean, they're using it kind of all the time, but the last time they truly did something with it was in 2016, and that's when Donald Trump got elected.
Huh.
And in theory, that's also when we shifted universes. Because
from the where we were to the stupid ages?
No, we went from the Bearenstein to the Bearenstein universe.
Oh, Lord.
That's what happened. So if you remember the Bearenstein Bears, you're from one universe. If you remember the Bearenstein Bears, you're from the other universe. They're very, very close and very similar, and all of the Mandela effects that we have are because some of us are from one universe and some are from the other. And our universes merged because CERN accidentally opened up a micro black hole that actually destroyed the fabric of reality.
Okay, you're full of it.
No, this is actually, this is not me making this up. This is what people legitimately have said.
People say a lot, but a lot of people are stupid.
Why do we have so many conflicting memories?
People are stupid.
Why do you think that Sinbad was ever a genie in a movie?
Well, I don't think that anymore. I researched. It was Kazam.
Yeah, but why did you think that?
Because he was a reasonable black simile.
But the thing is, you had that thought in your head for some reason.
Yeah.
That you experienced a movie in your childhood where Sinbad played a genie. Sinbad never did that.
No,
Shaq did.
Yeah,
He played Kazam, where he came out of a magical boombox. But for some reason, including myself, I remembered Sinbad being a genie in a thing. Sinbad was never a genie in a thing. However, I also definitely 100% remember Bearenstein Bears.
See, it was both ways, depending on whether it was the videotapes or the books.
It actually was one way always. I even recall on Reading Rainbow, and I haven't picked. You know what? This is something I need to research.
What, with Dag?
I need to go check out Reading Rainbow, and when they did the Bearenstein Bears read-alongs or whatever they did, and see what it is. In the video, because also there's a Bearenstein Bears cartoon as well.
Yeah, there's
for a long-running cartoon
animated edition.
And for me, it was always Bearenstein.
See, I never watched them.
I did. I mean, you're younger than me, but I always watched cartoons.
Yeah, by 2 whole years.
One. I'm shaving off that little few months. But the point is, you're younger than me, but I watch cartoons longer. You grew up faster, some shit.
I had to.
I didn't.
No choice.
So for me, it was always Bearenstein Bears, no matter what.
See, for me at that age,
you know what? Fuck it. Hold on. Well, you talk.
For me at that age, it was Discovery, National Geographic.
I did that too. I mean, I watched all the things, but it was PBS. We didn't have cable, so I had to watch all the things. Hold on. Let me see here. Wow, literally, it says Bearenstein Bears full episodes. So let me pull this up. So I don't. Hopefully, you'll be able. No, you won't. I got it turned off here. So I'm going to pull this up. So this is full episodes, flat out.
We only get like 5 seconds before.
No, it's fine. I can always pull it. So episode 1. Let's see here. Oh, damn it. It's like buy it. I'm buying shit. Fuck off. Okay, so
somewhere deep in bear country lives a Bearenstein Bear family.
Is that Dolly?
They're kind of furry around the torso. They're a lot like people, only more so. The bear fact is that they're just like you and me.
does sound like Dolly.
It sounds a lot like Dolly Parton.
The Bearenstein Bears.
That has to. Oh my!
Hold on,
gosh.
but hold on. I'm going by what she said. She said Bearenstein Bears.
Yeah.
Like, no mistake. I heard Bearenstein Bears. I do want to know who actually sang that. It definitely sounds like.
Yeah, it really does.
But this is from season 3.
When things go wrong, things might do.
Sorry, no, not season 3. Episode 38. My bad. Okay, so hold on. Let me find an early episode. Episode 5. Let's look.
It might also be a regional.
Somewhere deep in bear country.
Same intro. Okay.
Might also be a regional dialect.
No, because I mean it's spelled Bearenstein with an A.
Has that ever stopped us from saying things wrong?
But no, but this is the thing. So, and we had an episode about Mandela effects.
Yeah.
There was totally an episode about Mandela effects. Don't let anybody ever tell you anything
No,
different.
I don't remember.
Well, you weren't here yet. You don't know. So the thing is that I remember specifically spelling wise and everything with an E, Bearenstein. I remember people saying Bearenstein. I never heard anybody say Bearenstein. So that's part of the Mandela effects where they talk about all these different things like that with Sinbad, Nelson Mandela being dead in prison, all these things. That didn't happen. And we have all these false memories, like, and it's not, and it can't be like, what is it, the mass psychosis situations? It can't be something that specific.
It could just be people are wrong and we listen to idiots.
Maybe, but the thing is,
I'm more willing to believe that.
Well, look at it this way: if it said stain with an A, A-I-N, S-T-A-I-N at the end, why would I have ever pronounced it Steen?
Because I've never met anybody named anything Stain.
Exactly.
It's always Steen.
Steen. So, but even
It's
as a kid,
it's associating what we're accustomed to hearing.
So I read the books as a kid without it ever being told to me what it was, except maybe a group reading time. Why would anybody who could see it plainly spelled on the page say stain? I mean, I guess, in some like German speaking of EIN could be an A sound, not an E sound. Or it could be more of a Stein.
It's better than Bearenstein.
It could be Stein. But the thing is, everybody remembers Bearenstein. I don't know anybody who remembers Bearenstein. That's just an example. Once again, we covered this on the episode about Mandela effects.
A lot of it boils down to, do I really give a damn about little things, minutia?
Yeah, but
growing up, I never really did.
So
I was never small picture. It was always big picture for me.
So, but the whole point of with the CERN thing was that prior to 2016, people don't seem to have hardly any of these things. The Nelson Mandela thing did exist before 2016, but a lot of the other weird things people are pulling up, some of them are like clearly misremembering things. Other people are like, no, this was definitely, and then like they freak out when they discover. So in this case, like say you had Bearenstein Bears books growing up, you go pick it up and said, no, it definitely says stain, or it definitely says Steen, and it doesn't. And you're like, what the fuck? It was like 100%. I know this was this way. So the idea that our universe collapsed and we just merged with the universe next to ours in the multiverse. So with CERN activating the thing again today, in the midst of the fullest, most complete eclipse we've had in quite some time, on top of a few other crazy things all happening this year, just kind of led people to believe that it's the end of times. Now, one thing I want to check, that once CERN has turned all this shit back on and the eclipse is over, we need to go start checking all the books. So the thing is, at least on this case...
Hey, look, Sinbad.
Yeah, Sinbad is suddenly the genie. And by the way, if you remember Sinbad being a genie because you saw it on YouTube, that was actually College Humor addressed the Mandela effect and actually made what looked like an old VHS tape, but you can tell it's clearly old Sinbad, not
What
young
we
Sinbad.
remember is Sinbad in the movie Sinbad the Sailor with the puffy pants and the clothes that kind of look genie-esque.
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with Sinbad, the comedian actor.
Not Sinbad the Sailor. Sinbad the actor played as Sinbad the Sailor in some movie or not.
That I definitely don't remember.
Yeah, he was wearing the puffy clothes and all that. That's probably where people get the mix-up.
I'm fairly certain that didn't happen.
Yeah,
Okay, you're going to need to pull that up.
I am.
Okay. So anyways, the whole thing with CERN, actually, they were interviewed about this, and apparently the people there actually were like, yeah, we don't know what the hell you're talking about. So the thing is that CERN basically shuts down for the winter. Like the actual whole facility shuts down for maintenance so they can go in and poke around and fix any things that may or may not be broken on the collider.
Uh-huh.
And they turn it back on when they're done and they have it fixed. So it's actually been on since April 5th. So they actually turned it back. Basically, it's on, and they just aren't always shooting stuff through it. It's just one of those things that's just kind of on until they do it. So realistically, mind you, a few of those things that were posted on April 1st. So, of course, you know, a lot of April Fool's Day bullshit. So basically, it's actually been on for the last few days, and they've been doing experiments. So it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing new.
Hell, I remember that one scientist that stuck his head in the path of the accelerated particle.
Yeah.
Screwed him up completely.
Yeah, no shit. Why would you do that?
Because dumb.
Yeah, clearly. So, let's see here. This person who works there told PolitiFact that the accelerator complex is restarted every year after a brief winter technical stop when beam production ceases so that the accelerators can undergo maintenance. Restarting an accelerator like the Large Hadron Collider requires full commissioning process in order to check that all equipment works properly. Let's see here. Now that all the checks have been performed, the LHC is ready to provide particle collisions to the LHC experiments. First collisions for this year should actually happen today, April 5th. So realistically, yeah, I mean, if they were doing it for the first time specifically on Eclipse Day, yeah, that would be a little bit weird. But the Eclipse isn't anywhere near CERN. It's going over North America.
Exactly.
If it was going over CERN, then I'd be concerned. Once again, concerning CERN. Let's see here. Let's see. There was a whole thing in here about full moons potentially affecting it. Couldn't find a Sinbad thing?
Nope.
Exactly.
Yeah, whatever.
It was never a thing. So I think you're confusing MC Hammer with that. He's the only one who wore the parachute pants. Let's see. So hold on. Although solar eclipse on April 8th will not affect the beams in the LHC, the gravitational pull of the moon, like the tides, changes the shape of the LHC because the machine is so big. So it's large enough to be affected by the moon's gravity.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why the solar eclipse wouldn't affect it, because you have the two largest gravitational items that affect Earth in line with each other.
Yeah.
So things would be wonky.
They
so
would
I don't know
pull.
why they say it won't
I
affect
bet
it.
tides were crazy affected today.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, only for a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
no more so. I mean, the only thing that makes it different is that the sun and the moon are aligned. But you know, the weird part is, I heard about this the other day, is like the coincidence that we're probably the only planet in our solar system, and God knows how far out, that can have a full eclipse.
Because we have a proper moon that's the appropriate size.
It's the exact right size, and it's the exact right distance to manage it. And it's the only one that we have a properly round moon, too, because there's so many other very strange moons in orbit of the other planets. They might have partial eclipses. They might have really funky, like, donut eclipses. But nobody has perfect eclipses like us.
Right.
That we know of, that we can experience, for sure. Though the cool thing is like, if you did it right, if you were on the moon, you would totally see the Earth eclipse the sun.
That'd be cool.
Yep. In theory, it should work that way. But I always love the idea that, like, well, of course, we've never been to the moon, right? You know, that's always we never actually went to the moon.
Some people say that.
Well, the reason they say that is because apparently there was a faked moon landing, but rather that was a recreation because...
Well, people, once again, people have every right in the world to be wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, CBS legitimately recreated the moon landing for TV. 100% they did that. because there wasn't a way to film some of that stuff.
Right.
Yes, we have archived footage from the stuff that was on the moon.
But we didn't get it back.
We didn't get it back until significantly later.
Till they came back.
Yeah. So the thing
It
is,
was hard to shoot and, transmit that far.
yes, exactly. But so that's why people say we never went to the moon, and it was
material sciences
Yeah.
and technology weren't that advanced.
Yeah. So that's why they say that we never really went to the moon. The moon is in a Hollywood basement.
But you
It's
can
like,
bounce a laser off the moon and read its return.
that's not real. But either way, I believe we did go to the moon. I believe we stopped going to the moon for a very specific reason, and we'll never find out exactly what that was.
Yeah, moon Martians.
Yeah, something.
They're on the dark side.
They can't be Martians. They're on the moon.
Okay, yeah, moon men.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Nazis with their base on the dark side of the moon.
And the Chinese and everybody else, too. All of our enemies have shit on the dark side of the moon.
Of course, armed T-Rexes, stuff like that.
I don't know about T-Rexes. Those are on the inside.
True.
Actually, the moon is an arc.
That'd be a big helmet.
Well, no. Have you seen the movie Moonfall yet?
No.
Okay, we have Netflix, so you can. So Moonfall, just the plot of the movie is that the moon starts reacting weird. We sent something up there, and when it hit the moon rang like a bell.
Oh, wow.
So like, wait, that's not right. So they said the moon was hollow, and made of something that significantly different densities. And it turns out the moon, spoilers for this movie, I won't tell you why it happened, but the moon was an ark to save humanity.
Okay.
And so it was the ship that brought humanity to Earth. And then it's been up there the
kind of
whole
like the
time.
opposite of Interstellar.
Sort of.
They had their ark that had to take everything away.
Yeah. So I won't tell you why. Go watch the movie. It's not a terrible movie. It stars Sam from Game of Thrones, Halle Berry, and a couple other people I can't think of off the top of my head. So it's not. What's his name? Fuck, can't think of it. Ocean Master from Waterboy. Either way,
I'll check it out.
yeah, it's not terrible.
What did I watch yesterday? I watched something interesting. I know earlier in the night I watched the Ridiculous Six.
Yeah, you said you were going to.
It made me laugh.
Yeah. Oh, I meant to watch the new Roadhouse today. I just didn't get to it.
I'll probably do that tonight at work.
Yeah, I meant to do it before. I was watching. Shit, what was I watching? Oh, I was watching reactions to Hell of a Boss this morning, and then Jessica was watching. Jessica was watching some World War II stuff about these guys who got. She watched two different things. So, what?
I watched Mortal Engines last night.
Oh, okay. So
was great.
I've not watched that, but I did not. I've heard mixed reviews. So I've still never watched it.
It's a fun movie. It's not a great movie, but it's a fun movie.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, visually,
considering how big budget that was, and that's Peter Jackson.
Visually,
Which
it was
light died?
quite that one right here.
Oh, so did that one. It was the same time though.
But
oh God, it's the Eclipse.
It's happening.
Yeah.
But visually, it was a
your
lot of
light
fun.
died. Oh well, it's fine. What just buzzed? Did you hear that? Something buzzed. Was it your phone?
No,
I heard a blatant buzz. That was weird.
no, Miss up here.
Okay, no idea. So either way, what was I saying? Mortal Engines. No, I never saw that one.
But visually entertaining.
Yes.
Story, generic, but the effects are worth watching. It's really cool.
Yeah. So Jessica was watching two separate World War II. One was I guess was a movie. The other one was a series. One is basically like a family of Jews escaping from wherever they were in Germany to try to avoid the Nazis. So some of them went to Russia, some of them went elsewhere, trying to avoid the Nazis, and basically just the series of events, therein. And another one was, I think it was based on a true story about some of these Jewish men in Auschwitz that managed to escape.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch the whole thing. I ended up streaming. Or what was I doing? Yeah, that was Patreon night, so I didn't watch that whole thing. But I was like, just this shit. Like, I have, outside of some form of pornography, I have never seen so many cocks and balls on screen because they showed the scene where they brought them into camp and they shaved them all and deloused them. And you're literally talking a whole room of some type of Eastern European people, because it was a foreign film. They all spoke, nobody spoke English, period. And And there was lots and lots of dicks, like more than Game of Thrones. Now, mind you, they weren't on screen that long, but there was a lot. So they were putting them through their initial cleaning.
Let poor Alexander from Letterkenny go in there. So this is where the dicks hang out.
Yeah, this is where. Welcome to where the dicks hang out. There was shit on the outside of
In
the
here, you're
toilet.
prisoners, but out there, Europeans.
Speaking of which, I've been on my rewatch of Letterkenny again.
Yeah.
I'm up to season 8, I think.
So there was shits
Yeah,
on the outside of the toilets.
No, I was like, there was shit on the outside of the Uranus.
Huh?
There was shit. Come again. There was shit on the outside of the Uranus.
What?
Well, how did that get there?
How'd that
Well,
get there, Alligator?
remember how I said there was shit on the outside of the toilet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thinking it was the same way.
Well, damn.
Yeah. Fucking.
Miss
You know,
McMurray.
the funny part is rewatching it all at once. You see when McMurray took the major turn because he was just a normal dude before.
I like the McMurray character. He cracks me up so much.
I don't like Miss McMurray.
She makes me laugh too.
And she's always drunk. She's always shit faced and she's always calling people cocksuckers.
Get down with the Slam 2017.
And just no.
On a fish.
I'm as annoyed. I feel like I know them the same way the characters know them, and then I'm fucking annoyed by them in the same way. It's like he's probably a great friend in a professional sense, in like sometimes a hangout sense, but otherwise you just don't want anything to fucking do with them. It's like, no, I'm not fucking hanging out with McMurray.
Call him for a fight.
So where I just got to was right after the Mary Fred incident.
Oh, that was a
At the
good.
end-
That was a good ending,
Dude,
He whooped
the end
ass.
of the end of season 7 is so fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And then it was right after he came out of his self-imposed ice shacking,
yes,
where he escaped to go just deal with his
with
emotions.
the general public.
General public and misfire, yeah. Which, as far as I know,
If I wanted to hold a fruit, I'd go to the supermarket.
yeah. As far as I know, that was just the cast voicing that.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell. And that's also where Dan was talking about the erogenous zones up there. And Derry they disappeared for a while, and Derry came back, and he's like, and he talks about it. He's like, Derry, did you
stick your fingers up
did you
your
try
bums?
it? And he's like, no. And he was like, nope. I just like spending more time with you than watching a lot of Squirrely Dan. I'm just like, yes, definitely fucking Jeff for the most part. And the Dicks episode.
That is some of the most entertainingly awkward crap I've
how
ever
they do
heard.
that with a straight fucking
They
face.
don't. Have you seen the bloopers?
Yes, but
they
I'm saying
don't.
How I forgot the guy's name who plays the head dick, as it were. Noah. Yeah, how Noah Dick, the
And
guy.
his wife Anita Dick.
Yeah. So, like, this funny thing is, like, I know her from a bunch of different shows. I only know him from Letterkenny stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how anyone else, like, as far as I can tell, they do their stuff without anyone else there because, oh my God, you would not hold a straight
hell
face.
yeah.
They have to be recording this separately. There's no way you're saying
There's no
this-
way Jared Kesso could sit there with a straight face.
or anyone else.
Yeah.
Like, especially to have that conversation.
Trevor Wilson.
Yeah.
He could not sit there
Trevor
and be
Wilson
quiet.
definitely couldn't. No. It's just like, because the funny part is I'm watching it and, like,
Thinking of, he's got an American tour coming.
ooh, that'd be worth it.
Yep.
So he'd go in there dressed as Squirrely.
As.
Yeah. But the funny part was, and I know I've talked about Letterkenny a lot on this show because I love the show.
It's a good shoe.
So when, like, right now we're at the female hockey team is done. Like, they were the previous season.
The back and forth between the
So
two.
Marianne,
Great.
Marianne and Betty Ann.
Yeah, Marianne and Betty Ann.
So their first time when Jonesy and Riley go into the,
They were just back and
Yeah.
forth, just vicious.
So, but the funny part is watching the other girls who are just there to be extras try not to laugh their
Yeah.
asses off because the two of them are not looking at each other, but they're talking to each
Yeah.
other. They're talking the worst, horrible shit imaginable to each other, but they're staring at Jonesy and Riley,
yeah.
like completely straight faced. And you can see the other girls are clearly barely holding
Yep.
it together. Because I remember there's one time when it's on Mary Ann and she's talking to Betty Ann. and the girl behind her literally goes,
Yep.
turns her head. It's just like, she just can't take it. I'm like,
Well, they were great there. All the girls on the International Women's Day when they were putting each other down.
yes,
That was very funny.
Oh yeah, that's way later. That's the end of season 11. I
yeah,
believe.
but still, that was great.
That's a holiday episode for season 11. Because that's when we thought there was no more Letterkenny, and there's still one more. That's before
One
they
more
did
season?
season 12. Yeah,
When did they drop where the Aussies come? The Aussie cousins show up.
that was the Aussie Cousins.
Yeah.
Is season 12.
That was good.
Yeah, season because they've only had the American Cousins, which is where I'm at right now.
Those are
when they go down when the American Cousins come up to hang out. So, and this is before Dirks. So we haven't gotten to Dirks just yet. Fucking Dirks. Which by God damn, I hate Dirks so much. Like I get it's like now. Okay, first of all, everybody in here knows I hate Grey's Anatomy with a passion. Hate Grey's Anatomy, and Jessica loves it and gets completely absorbed into character
Now every time you
drama
see him,
bullshit.
you go, Dirks.
Yeah, exactly. No, but my point is, I understand. Now, for Grey's Anatomy, I hate it, but I get the connection to the characters because, like, I feel like I know the people in Letterkenny. It's like I fucking feel what they feel, and I
just their back and forth, just the same bull crap we'd spew at each
they're
other.
They're too normal.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, Grey's Anatomy is beyond normal, but I get why women.
Now,
get
I
so
will
involved.
say their setup, their back and forth, their yes and is better than anything we'll come up with off the cuff. But
yeah, I've had some pretty good shit.
Yeah, but still, theirs is great.
Yeah.
One of the first episode where they were giving the hockey player shit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know anybody who could just do that where they can yes and each other constantly, especially one-upping each other constantly in response to the guys.
It was perfect.
Yes. I mean, like, that's the hook. That's
Look at
the
that
hook for the
treasure
whole
trail.
show.
Did your anesthetician quaff that for you?
Yeah. They're considered hicks. They're supposed to be low-class people, but they're so fucking smart and witty the whole time, especially while drinking.
Yeah.
That being said, CERN didn't have any effect on the world.
We still drank. We're good.
Still going back to the story, except for the fact letter.
Wow, we rabbit trailed hard.
As far as if I recall correctly, I saw a thing about Shorzy season 3.
Yes.
I think I saw something that Jared posted the other day. The Shorzy season 3.
Well, they're done with Letterkenny.
Well, I know Letterkenny's over completely, but it took 2.5 years to get the new season of Shorzy.
Yeah.
So the hard part.
That's a lot to film, though. A lot to set up. A lot of action cover.
You know, it's filmed in the same place. Like, Letterkenny is filmed in the fucking...
But no, as far as Shorzy getting all the action shots and everything else.
Yeah, but these guys are all hockey players.
Yeah.
They're hockey players first, actors second. All of them. Like, with the exception of, like, 2 of them, which are straight up... They played hockey, but they're not hockey players.
Yeah.
Most of the guys were hockey players that Jared found that could act. And the funny part is, as far as I know, most of them go by their actual names. Mm-hmm. Except for Ted Hitchcock. Which, by the way, I just covered the episode where they introduced Ted Hitchcock.
Oh, good old 10-inch cock.
So I always tell people you can watch Shorzy on its own, but the setup for Shorzy...
Get a martini for me, hon.
Yes, yeah. So the setup for Shorzy starts in season 7 of Letterkenny.
My son still looks at me when we're having chicken and goes, the chicken's unbelievable.
Chicken's unbelievable. I use that and the settle down GIF. I use that all the fucking time.
No, I use tit fucker quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, I just use the settle down when somebody's is excited over something stupid, and I just send the settle down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So someone else who apparently has to settle down now, because that's how we do a segue, is Jonathan Majors. So
Go ahead.
Update to the Jonathan Majors story just today. So we were following it last year when he first got accused and arrested for the abuse of his girlfriend at the time. This was right after filming, or right after Creed 3 and Ant-Man 2. No, Ant-Man 3 came out. So those are his majors. Yeah. So he's actually was a literal rising star. Like, dude had a fucking whole career. He set up to be the biggest bad in the new chunk of Marvel. Gets into this physical altercation with his girlfriend at the time. He actually is the one who called the cops on her because he was being abused and he wanted her removed from his his place. Showed up. There was a whole thing. The cops are like checking it out. It's like, okay, they're both injured. Like, she drew blood on him, but she had a few bruises, was complaining about her wrist and arm hurting and stuff like that. Now, mind you, he's a big motherfucker. Like, if you, like, do a quick Google on your phone there, because I can't show you my screen. Look up Jonathan Majors Creed 3. And see how jacked this motherfucker is. So, basically, after a bit of court, as you do, and things getting spicy, going back and forth because they first found evidence that he was good, and then they said, no, wait, we have this footage from the car where the altercation took place, and that's where they got him. He also tried to countersue.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, look at him in the ring, like on the actual shot, man. He's fucking ridiculous. Fuck yeah.
Yep.
Specimen.
Him's got some tries and some
Fucking
doubts.
specimen. So basically, like, and here's the other problem. He tried to countersue for the abuse and stuff like that while they were taking him to court. Because I think the initial case was thrown out because they said she made it all up and all this other stuff. Because they looked at the footage. They're like, you couldn't have been here when you were, because you were on film at this time doing this thing. So it was the footage in the car that finally got him. But basically, they got him to a 1-year in-person domestic violence intervention program. And that was, let's see, he was convicted of reckless assault in the 3rd degree and harassment is really what it came down to. So they can't prove that he was like purposely like just beating the shit out of her. They can prove that it was basically a fight. And yeah, he did manhandle her a little bit, but she was being fucking crazy. Like, basically, she saw that he had a message from another chick on his phone. She freaked the fuck out, grabbed his phone, and he was trying to get it back. I mean, like any dude would, probably.
Yeah.
He just happens to be a super jacked whatever and a rising star, probably with some ego in there. Most people say he's a pretty nice guy, but, you know, if you're out with this bitch who's been treating you crazy for a while, it is what it is. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying shitty relationship be shitty relationship.
Once again, lack of communication. Poor communication.
Yeah, I don't think there was lack of communication here. The only lack of communication was between his bitches. So the charges, which are a misdemeanor and a violation, carried a sentence of up to 1 year in prison. Prosecutors asked for a sentence of domestic violence programming instead, which is, I'll say that's still pretty good rather than sentence asked to jail, because that's not going to help. With a 6-month jail alternative if he failed to complete the programming. So if he doesn't get through the program, he goes to jail for 6 months, which, you know, that sucks. But basically, his fucking career, done at this particular point. He lost all the roles he was currently lined up with. He had a thing for promoting stuff for the Army. They canned him from that.
Well, if you're in that kind of limelight anyway, you got to be so careful about who you associate with and what kind of positions you let yourself be put in.
Yeah, but also when you're at the beginning of it,
because right now everybody's watching everything you do all the time.
100%. I agree with that. I think the problem is being a rising star. You still have normal
He hadn't
problems.
learned that lesson yet.
But you're still a normal person. You saw it that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're still a normal fucking person and haven't gotten used to the limelight yet. So I think for his case, they were already in a shitty relationship. They've been together, I think, like a year or something like that. And it was bad already.
Yeah.
And then whatever went wrong this particular night, he got caught finally cheating. Who gives a fuck if he's cheating? They're not married.
Well, he's not familiar with OPSEC.
Yeah.
He has to learn his operational security.
Yeah.
Keep your shit locked down.
And he wasn't to a point where he was being driven around by personal security or anything else like that. So he was just, they were in a fucking cab.
Yeah.
And, you know, if that footage didn't exist, it probably would have likely gone his way, honestly. But there was all kinds of crazy shit. And realistically, it just comes down to these two people should not fucking be together because it was just getting worse and worse and worse. Like, she had already called shit on him during a fight, or like a big argument.
If you're fighting that way and you're calling the cops, it's time to break up.
Yeah, at that point specifically. So, but basically, and I'm sure there's going to be people, I already saw some of the comments on there. Like, she even said that, right here, he's not, so this is the woman, Grace Jabari. He's not sorry. He's not accepted responsibility, and he will do this again. He will hurt other women. This is a man who believes he's above the law. Well, clearly he's not above the law. He's subject to it at this particular point.
Well, hopefully he proceeds with a bit more caution.
Well, he definitely will. He's definitely going to be, well, no matter what he goes on with.
Hopefully it's something to learn for both of them. Because,
Yeah.
man, you got to choose your partners very carefully.
True.
I mean, it's
especially when you're young and rich.
it's easy to jump into with somebody rich having a good time, but when the good times end and real world problems begin, that's when you really get to learn who people are.
Yeah. But dude, you ever had sex with a crazy bitch?
No,
Well, he has.
that's his fault.
Yep, it is. So one thing is, so she said she will not rest until I feel he's not a danger to anyone else. That sounds like she's going to try to kill him, if I'm honest.
Or she's going to try to file another civil suit.
Yeah, but she'd have to say that he did anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not together anymore. He's not affecting her life at the moment. So the article says here, and once again linked down below, Majors did not make a statement with his attorneys, Priya Chaudhary, saying that Jabari would attempt to use it against him in her civil case. She called this the most challenging year of Jonathan Majors' life, and he would abide by the sentence. Chaudhary said her client still maintains his innocence, and he will be appealing the conviction. Which I don't blame him, because like it looked super bad for him at the beginning. Like I even said, it's like holy shit.
Of course, it looks super bad. If you're in any kind of physical altercation with a woman, you're automatically guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah,
That's blanket across the board. I don't care who you are.
yeah,
So once again, mind your P's and Q's. Keep yourself out of situations and don't let yourself become a victim of something like that.
yeah. And it even says that back in January he was on GMA. Did an interview after ahead of the sentencing, and he said it says that he expressed shock over the verdict and maintained his innocence. I was like, well, yeah, he would do. Why would you just say, oh well, yeah, I guess I did it, therefore I'll commit to it? It's like, no, you maintain your fucking innocence unless there's proof that you fucking really did it.
Right.
And in this believe all women world we're in now, crazy shit can be accused. I mean, like look what happened to Trump. A bitch says that he raped her fucking 30 years ago and can't remember anything straight one way or the other on it if it happened, and can't prove anything, and yet we believe her 100%.
Well, on the same level, there's something to be said for that hermit lifestyle we've been living. Because it certainly is drama fucking free.
You're a little bit more hermited than I am.
True.
Up until recently.
But it's
I've dehermited you.
It's drama free.
You've been dehermetified.
Dehermetified.
I was trying to say it. I couldn't get there. So I just think that, like, and once again, this shit happened in New York, which, good God, anyone can do anything wrong in New York except for the criminals. So,
right?
Yeah, the only people who can't get arrested in New York are the actual criminals. It's all
And the politicians.
I said criminals.
Touche. Touche.
It's like the only people who do get punished are people who aren't really doing anything wrong. It's like, or try to do the right thing and then get punished for it. It's fucking ridiculous. So, guys, if you want to hear the conversation we just had, it'll be on the Patreon. I'm going to cut all of that so you won't even know what it was. So if you want to sign up for the Patreon and at least sign up for the podcast level, that's $5 a month. Or if you want to get it all, $12 a month. Just come support the channel. And if you want to do anything else, just go purchase some merch. There is some 9Meo merch down below. And you said you had an idea for merch, but you never told me what it was.
Give me a minute.
It's fine. You tell me after the fact if you remember, but just fine.
I don't. Give me a bit.
Either way. So, of course, guys, write in if you want to at the NowYouMadeItAwkwardMail at gmail.com, or you can send in a voicemail to the Facebook. It's really easy if you want to do that, or just leave comments. If you can either leave comments on Facebook posts or on the YouTube, I will read them if they exist so that we can address anything like we did with Sean, who gave us a very interesting topic about memory. If you have an answer for that, by all means, toss it down in the comments. Send in a fucking voicemail for all I know. But also remember that we are literally off by a week. So by the time you hear this, we'll be off by however many days. So we got to remember. Like, so if they ask us a question from something 2 weeks ago, we're like, it's like, I don't remember that. Speaking much like
we said things.
Much like I didn't remember that the episode needed to go out today. So it is what it is. But guys, have a safe new universe now that we are all here in the new thing. And also, in theory, later this month, they're supposed to have Passover where they're sacrificing the red heifer to bring the Messiah. So that'll be fun.
Well, some Chinese philosopher said, "May you live in interesting times."
Well, basically,
he was full of shit.
So on top of everything happening today on Eclipse Day, we have people out there trying to bring about the apocalypse.
Yep.
In the very literal
And
sense.
others are trying to raise a death god.
Yeah, some people are trying to raise a death god. We got nuclear war about to happen because they're trying to put Ukraine in NATO.
If I see Cthulhu come out of the Gulf, I'm done.
He won't come out of the Gulf. Gulf's too shallow. He's gonna come out from the fucking middle of the Pacific.
Come on.
Yeah, he'll come out of the rift, and then we'll have to
Well,
develop.
it's Cthulhu. He'll come out of the sky.
Cthulhu comes from the water.
Oh, sky.
Comes from the water. That's why he's got squid face.
He's just alien.
Whatever. The giant spaghetti monster will save us. The flying spaghetti monster will save us all. And with that, guys,
Okay.
bye.
Bye.
Wait, I don't think we did a K bye last week.
We didn't.
We did. That was weird. First episode with no K bye.